The Earth is very flat.
Indeed, Rumpus. Thank you very much. It is Friday, July 2nd, 2021. What's going on, everybody? Tonight is Friday Night Fights, of course. Not much different from most other nights, except very, very limited moderation. We'll see how that goes tonight, and hopefully we can get a good conversation going and some good arguments without completely talking over each other. But it is what it is. Anyway, sounds good, Bill. Thank you very much. Gadget Inspector, Paul Cruikshank, good evening. Mark Beretta, thank you. You like that intro? That was Mr. Adam Meekin who put that together. Shout out, Adam Meekin. Thank you very much. UD Media, scarf made from Brandon's own pubic hair. Huh. Okay. Globe Thrusters, Flat Earth Trekker, Bongop G. Sorry if I butchered that. Mystery Mongoose, page 42. Oh, I see what that comment was in regards to. Brandon will be along shortly. He's just got to finish the last row of the scarf he's knitting for Brenda. Oh, shit. That is pretty funny. Who else we got in here tonight? Michael B was already hidden. What did Michael B do? Like your brain flat. Okay. Not very clever, Michael B. Carl Christofferson. Karem. And Bill G was first tonight. Paul was second. Shout out, Paul. All right, guys. Let's get to it. You know what I thought we might look at tonight? It's been a while, and I consider it one of our greatest hits. Once upon a time, somebody who works in the quote-unquote satellite industry gave me a video to prove the shape of the Earth and rocketry and satellites and all that good stuff. And it's pretty interesting. It didn't exactly work out well for him, in my opinion. We'll take a look at that. I'm talking about, of course, the Indian rocket dropping satellites into clouds very clearly, unless you just want to deny what you see. And it's been a while since we talked about it. And maybe we can get Phil on to explain it if he's out there. But we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to open up Discord and we'll get going.
The word psychedelic means mind manifesting. So that concept of actually sort of breaking down the walls of defenses that people usually have when it comes around, like, new ideas or considering things that are not basically like they're helpful in deprogramming people, essentially.
Couldn't that be said another way, like that it makes them more suggestible or manipulate more easy to manipulate?
I would say maybe it depends on which compound you might be referring to.
Just for the record, to clear something up, my pubic hair is not quite long enough to knit a scarf out of. Just in case anybody was wondering.
But like LSD, for example, is different than other things, like that one is different because it's more of just like a synthetic magnifier. Whereas, so that's why like the government has used it, MK Ultra and things like that. But
he usually goes, I think, on Deafen to start the show off and talk to the audience first, and then comes back. So I don't think that was necessarily because of us or anything.
What's up, guys?
What's up? Hey, what's up?
What's up? Hey, Gio. Hey, Bob.
Oh, maybe he said he came off Deafen. I don't know. Maybe not.
What's going on? Brian Leakey. What's up, Brian? Enigma.
What you say?
Hey. Jace. Hey. Jeremy. Rob. Stu Unger.
You should get that.
He was a poker player, right? What's up, Stu Unger? And Bob Bill. What's happening, guys?
Not too much, man.
Not a whole lot.
Oh,
I was thinking about
Brian?
something, man.
We haven't seen you in days, man. You on vacation or what?
No, I just took a couple days off, but I was listening, man. I just back off a little bit here and there.
Okay.
Why are you always so leaky?
Yeah, right. I was thinking about something, though, man. Gleam mentioned. Very interesting. And it's had to do with the globe model And so they pretty much, in my opinion, they've done a good enough job demonstrating light, like bending downwards. But as far as if something bends downwards, is it does that necessarily mean it's going to appear higher in our vision?
Yeah, it always bugs me too.
I was thinking, okay, so if I was just trying to think in terms of like a laser beam, a laser instead of light going in every angle, a laser, say somebody's 10 foot high and you're about 5 miles away, or just a mile away, for example, and they're shining it at you and it's bending downward. Okay. So it's not reaching your eye. So you'd have to go down to see it. You'd have to squat down or maybe walk forward some to see it. So how could that in any way compare to the objects appearing higher if it's not reaching you? I mean, that right there, I'm starting to maybe change my thought, man. I never thought about it in depth, and that I'm starting to think that they're just saying that shit appears higher with the light refracting down to make their refraction work, their model work.
The ballers make something up quickly in an attempt to make their model work? What?
Unheard of.
Without checking it first?
That's an interesting thought, Brian. I've had
Maybe not.
Thought about the same thing many times, because if that were the case, let's say you shined a laser over a long distance and the laser light was bending down or refracting down towards the ground as it came to you. If that resulted in the laser being raised up in your vision, would you still see the laser bending through the air, or would it just look like the laser's higher?
Yeah, that's another good point. And that with the fact that, let's say that continents in general have to start with a shoreline, and then so they have to, necessarily get higher the further inland you go just to be above water. So it'd be hard, through all these mountain ranges and all this shit to keep accurate distances, pinpoint distances without doing some estimations. So, I mean, so that's, I think Bev, try thinking and mentioned something like that. Like that's their curve is pretty much like the inland getting higher. So for them to act like they have perfect surveys and stuff like that, as far as like state lines and shit like that, that's farcical in my opinion, man. It'd be impossible to get it down perfect, and that could be the curve. And that's, I don't know, man. I'm just thinking of ways, because I mean, I do have some observations where you see obstruction and shit a lot of the time, and then sometimes I'll go to that place and there'll be no obstruction. So it's got to be just optical, man.
Like Brian tried thinking.
Go ahead.
What'd you say, Rob?
I said, it sounds like Brian has tried thinking. Thinking.
Yeah, that's funny, man. That's funny. But I'm always thinking, man. I'm always trying to think about but it would be a perfect explanation of looking out, when they first invented or reinvented the monocular or whatever, the eye scope, the eyepiece, where your binoculars, and started looking out, and midday is when we get the most refraction. That's when we get the most obstruction around here anyway. It could be different in other areas, but here along the coastline or along the beach and all that, I seem to get the most obstruction during the heat of the day. So I'm thinking during the heat of the day, they try and say that that's when we have the least amount of refraction during the heat of the day. So to me, that doesn't make sense, because you're thinking that they're attributing it to a gradient, like a temperature or pressure gradient. So during the heat of the day, it's going to be hottest at the ground, and it's, getting colder up there as you go higher, and more, they're going to say there's more pressure at the ground with the heat. So that's going to make more of a gradient then. So to me, it's obvious that should make more refraction during
Yeah,
the
like
sun.
wouldn't the heating up be causing more of the air to be moving upwards than if it was cold?
And I don't think they'll even argue that I mean, well, they'll argue just about everything, but there's a little bit of common ground, and the one thing they will argue is that the refraction happens, during midday. They'll say that's when the refraction is not happening. Okay, but they won't argue the fact that it's hotter, the sun's out, and all that. But they'll say that that's when it's best to do observations. But if they really thought about it and were honest with themselves, they'd see that it's more of a temperature gradient, which means more of a pressure gradient, which would mean more refraction. Would you agree, Brandon, that I don't know how much you've done as far as long distance observations, but if you have, or from what you've seen, wouldn't you agree that we tend to see further at night or evening or morning time?
I haven't gone out there and done a ton of observations like, Plain Truth or anybody like that. I've only done the long distance observations a few times. And just
I know
about
a guy
every time
named
I did
Randy
it, I
used
got
to go out
a,
and do long distance photography.
sorry?
I said there used to be this guy named Randy used to go out there and do long distance photography and come back telling us how flat the water was.
Oh, I remember that guy. Yeah, whatever happened to him?
I don't know, but I was thinking about him. So I went back to look at some old stuff, and I made a 2-minute video of him explaining the Blackpool Swan. He's right there by the shoreline, and he's up on the steps, and he's like, and look what happens when I go down. Look how the stenoline compresses. He's like, and you can't see that on every boat. It would just look like the boat's part of it's hidden. But since there's writing on the side of it, we see stenoline scrunched up where it's compressing. So he points out, he's the one who taught me that shit, that when your viewing angle gets less and less, the bottom compresses. And apparently he just forgot. And I played a couple demonstrations, not just him telling, not just rhetoric, him showing compression at low angles. And I guess he forgot about that shit and jumped ship, whatever, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who could resist wanting to go on all the baller shows and get your head patted like a dog for repeating globe bullshit? Right?
Yeah, man. He found a picture on Twitter and it turned him into a globe head.
All that time he spent out there taking pictures, and one fucking picture on Twitter did it.
I think I'm going to stick with the I think something happened that either scared him or like forced him into a situation that wasn't necessarily great. I'm sticking with that until I get something else that would convince me otherwise.
Keep the hope alive. Keep the hope alive, Bob. I don't know if you've seen his videos he's been making lately.
You don't go from thinking logically to being a complete retard like that without getting hit on the head or something significant has happened.
Yeah, something significant definitely happened. But here's what I was going to say, and I almost forgot. I think that Globers would agree that we see that there is more obstruction in the day. They would say that there's less obstruction in the evening and in the night and in the morning. So that's common. It's common ground, kind of. But they would, like we would say, there's more refraction during the heat of the day, which to me, why ain't that obvious? But I mean, it's hotter. There's more freaking refraction, more obstruction from that. But they would agree that there is more obstruction during the heat of the day. We would just call it less refraction in the evenings and the morning.
Yeah, I got a really stupid diagram that I've drawn for you, Brian. Something to think about here. It's really probably pretty dumb. But can you see my screen?
Yeah, I see it.
All right, so here's this building, right? And lights coming off this building. And because of the conditions, all the lights refracting downwards consistently as it goes towards our observer here, this man. So the light from up here is going down here. It's hitting him on the mid section right here. And this light, as you get lower, it's like terminating into the ground, right? Not all the light that's coming off of this thing is reaching this man. Wouldn't that make it look like things were sunk down into the ground? Or, I mean, I guess their point is, if that happens, then it'll look like it's up here.
Well, no, what they're trying to say is the light that was angling above your head is now bending down, hitting your eye. So the light that was coming straight from the building that would be hitting your eye is too low to hit your eye, but so you're getting the light that was angling up above your head, angling down, hitting your eye. That's why I tried to use like a laser, because a laser beam at eye level would, let's just say it's a perfect collimation. So it's not scattering or diffusing, whatever you want to call it. And it's just a perfect little beam. It's not hitting your eye because it's bending or refracting downward. And so it would have to appear lower, because you'd have to squat down to even see the damn thing, like you're drawing right there.
Yeah, so if this coming off the top of the building here, this light is bending, and then you see this light, right? That makes the building look like it's lower or above? Can't remember.
Higher.
That will make the
Lower,
building.
man.
That would make the building look like it's higher.
Yeah. The problem is I've never
This
seen.
is also orthographic. Sorry, Travis. Sorry.
That's
I know
okay.
it's a stupid drawing. Remember, I said that.
I don't know how well I'm going to be in and out, but all I've ever seen are diagrams of this shit. Okay. Brian's absolutely right. We all know it. Just like water can't stick to a ball, light that bends down does not then bring the image up higher. Okay, that is illogical. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. No one can show this in reality. I've not seen it. You know, I've got tons of side-by-side photos of the same observation in different conditions, and everything is higher, lower, and not even, and bigger and smaller, right? I mean, so the one thing that I wanted to say real quick, Brandon, was I think that we're begging the question when we think that the data is traveling through the air to our eye.
Right.
Okay, Oh,
my bad.
Oh, I'm not buying
I don't
into
believe
any of
that's
this
the
shit.
case.
Just to make it clear, I'm not buying into any of this stuff. I'm just trying to understand what they think is happening, I guess.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying when you were talking about, the light from the building that's too high to get your eye, and the light that's at the lower part of the building is too low so you can't see it, that is assuming that the data is traveling through the air like radio waves, and if your antenna, your eyeball, isn't in the right spot, you're not going to see the data. And that's just absolutely preposterous.
Well, that's what they say is happening, right? Because they think that photons are shooting off of everything into our eyes.
Yeah, if they're going to attribute it to that, well, think of a cloud like 20 miles away and just above the horizon, whatever, like hiding behind the trees that are only about 5 miles away. Okay, and then there's something even in the foreground. So you have all that stuff coming in on the same plane. So you have the clouds way the hell in the background on a clear day. Then you got the trees in mid-ground. And then you have like a bush in your foreground, like half a mile away. Okay, so you got all this stuff coming in, competing with itself, basically. And that's what I mean when I say that even if they're right and it does make us see things higher, it would still equate to things further away, appearing lower, because look at the angle. If the angle is basically straight at my eye and for further away, then even if it's refracting downward, it's still gonna have a net effect of refracting upward just from the perspective angle of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so.
In other words, if you drew it orthographically, it wouldn't make no sense at all, because you would just have a line going. Well, it might if you had a big enough piece of paper, man. you'd have a line going from way off to the eye with the clouds, and then you'd have a line, it'd be intersecting the line from the top of the tree going to your eye, and then both of them lines would intersect the bush and your near ground. So you'd have 3 lines intersecting each other, all from drastically different heights. So you're seeing the distant object coming in, and it's probably 20 degrees colder or 30 degrees colder up in the clouds, and coming the same pathway. I don't know, man. I'm just thinking out loud.
Kind of along similar lines, I think. So let's say this one edge of the roof here on this building, the real building, there's light coming off in their model in every direction, right? And it's curving down in some cases. Wouldn't that mean that there's some points on an object, and maybe this is true, where there would be more light coming from a spot on an object than other spots on the object?
That's a good point, man. And
then
seems
what
like
happens then? Do you see the object up here and down here? How does that work?
That doesn't make sense, man. And Gleam had another good point, man. And shout out to Gleam if you're listening. But he's mentioned, about the phenomenon of artillery and throwing shit and everything coming up short. It's like a phenomenon where on the regular, people come up short. The further you get, the more short people come up with where they think something's going to go. So that would be more supporting evidence of things appearing lower, in the background, or even further away from being lower, kind of.
I think there's some kind of optical effect that typically increases as you get further out. Something goes on with the way we see things, how it all combines in our vision, or just the nature of light, vision, or optics.
Gotta be. It makes
the further away things
it hard to debate, bro.
Makes things look lower.
Look, I'm trying to debate these people. I was on the bridge yesterday, and I'm looking out, and if you're on a nice clear day, you can see the ocean above the oceanfront buildings, and it's about 15 miles, maybe at least probably about 11, 12 miles actually to the shore. And but on a good clear day, you could see over the buildings on the coast, because that's what's blocking the ocean anyway. But most of the time you can't. And I'm thinking, and then you're looking out in the distance, and if you ask these people we debate, should we be able to see like the Eiffel Tower from the UK or something like that on a flat Earth? They think, yeah, you should. Upon their first thought always is that, yeah, you'd see forever on a flat plane. But in reality, our vision, it kind of joins in the middle like a hallway. It conjoins. I'm looking for the right word. And then once it hits that spot of the horizon where the top kind of meets with the bottom, I forgot the term I'm looking for, but at that point, then everything just goes off in the distance. So you would not see forever. I don't know, man. I'm having trouble coming up with the terminology, but there's a convergence point that has a certain distance. It's optical. It's purely optical, and then everything just shrinks past that. Most everything shrinks past that up into the distance, and so you wouldn't see forever. It can't just keep coming up in our vision. You see what I'm saying? The higher you get, the more things tend to ramp up optically, but in reality, they're not. So it's just going off in the distance. Our angle will get smaller, and we would not be able to see crazy distances.
Tech term is gushing and squishing.
Yeah, and I'll use one more thing. I'll use the cloud, the line from the cloud, the line from the tree, and the line from the
go
bush
back
as
to
an
the
example.
center line. No, don't get off that. That's smushing. Let's talk about the center line again, just from a couple of meters up and down, how much it's squished.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, man.
That's
I have that video.
unbelievable.
I'll post it. If Brandon, if you want to play it, let me know.
Yeah, go ahead, post it.
Hey,
I'll
Brian,
post
I was gonna mention to you today. You posted a video of Antarctica, right? If anybody has access to a movie platform. I think Prime may have it. There's a documentary called Expedition Antarctica. 7 minutes in and 33 seconds, it will tell you that there is 3 hours of darkness every day during the summer. Right? Kind of goes against the 24-hour sunlight, right?
Yeah.
So
I find it interesting because
That's interesting.
people always
the
bring up.
documentary is called Expedition Antarctica. 7 minutes in and 33 seconds. They literally tell you that every night during the summer there's 3 hours of darkness.
7 minutes and what?
33 seconds.
All right. Is it this one? Can you see my screen?
1 second, I'll take.
Hey, I posted that video in general. You don't even need to hear it really.
Oh,
If
this
you
is a
just played
series.
it.
Yeah, it's probably not this one. This is some kind of series.
Yeah,
No,
that's
it's
what I found, Data. I found the series.
it?
I couldn't find the what you're talking about.
Well, it's a documentary. It's new. Let me just see if I can locate where it's at. Give me a second.
Free documentary.
I looked on Disney. You said Disney, so I looked on Disney, and all I seen was a series. So I wanted to check with you before I wasted any more time looking into it. But Brandon, I posted that video. You don't need to hear it, but if you play it, then it starts off with the Stenoline regular size. So that's not the compression. Then he walks down the steps, and then you see the compression, and then I think there's another demonstration that Ranty gives on compression. And we don't even have to hear it if you want to play it at some point.
Yeah, I'll pop it on screen. But I've spent a lot of time looking at the Antarctica videos, and there's really only like 3 or 4 of them out there, and they're all from.
Well, I
the
just
same
put up
two
a
guys.
video, man. Sorry.
Even if there was a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, it wouldn't be a deal breaker for me, anyways.
Yeah, maybe not, but I just put up a video and I went through some of the older footage, and you could tell they have some footage because they were talking about the nuclear power plants they put in Antarctica, or the nuclear reactors that they put in there, and they said they've been there since 1961 at the North Pole. So I'm thinking these videos are pretty recent, but then the older videos, you get a lot of truth bombs. I heard where they talked about the winter was 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, and 9 months. They said twice in there that the long winter was 9 months of darkness. The other one says it's 9 months with no sun. And I'm thinking
Admiral Byrds. Yeah. Anyway, the documentary is free on YouTube. It's actually called Expedition Antarctica. It's a free documentary, and you can go to it right now. And it's 7 minutes and 33 seconds in. So
Can you paste the link?
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 Expedition Antarctica.
It's literally under the channel's called Free Documentary. That's the name of the channel.
Why is that so hard for you?
Because I'm not on my phone looking at the link. So Expedition Antarctica. Type in Expedition Antarctica /free documentary, and it should come up because that's quite specific.
I gotta say one more thing about Antarctica, man. So I heard where they said 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, and 9 months of darkness. So if Antarctica was surrounding the Earth, and you could go further and further out away from the sun, then where he got bunkered down and stuck for the 9 months, that might be the furthest we made it out away from the inner. That's the furthest out in Antarctica we went. So there would be a section of Antarctica that has 7 months of darkness, and then the further you go, then you hit 9 months of darkness. But there's a few truth bombs on the video on Flat Earth Test for anybody who wants to see it.
All right. I think I might have found it. I don't know, because there's a series out there called this too. Here,
That's what it looks like right there. I think you have it. That's the one.
This is it? Okay.
Looks like it.
Let me play this. Maybe see if the
Yeah,
sound-
go to 7 minutes and 30 seconds, and it should show up around 7 minutes 33 seconds. They'll say that there's 3 hours. There's 3 hours of nighttime during the summer.
All right. For some reason it's so low.
Yeah, so there may be a spot somewhere where they could show a long sun. I don't think they'll give us a 24-hour sun, but long daylight. It's possible. I'm not
There
going to
you
rule
go.
that out.
Each night 3. It's right there.
So
Could help
if
these
we
animals.
we
Each
keep hearing
night,
this over and
3
over, there
hours
must be a
of
spot.
darkness brings new danger to the ice-clogged waters.
Which time of the year is that? Because this is completely out of context, of course.
Summertime.
Yeah, well, summertime is not all of it 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
bud.
to be specific, flat Earth data.
Hey, listen to this, Crow. Richard Byrd was talking about the 65 degrees where he could see his breath and everything, and he said he's running out. You know, he needs to hurry up and go because the long winter's about to set in. And I'm thinking it's 65 degrees where he could see his breath, and if he just had 6 months of sunlight, this man just experienced which he never mentions, by the way, if he just experienced 6 months of sunlight, and the Earth is supposed to be 3.5 million miles closer to the sun, with the sun shining round the clock for 6 months, and he could see his own breath, that's a contradiction in itself.
That's not a contradiction.
No, it isn't.
Well, the sun is not high; it's just barely above the horizon.
23 degrees at its peak in the summer. So 23 degrees around here in Florida, it's about 10.
Where do you live?
It's about 10 o'clock in the morning.
Where do you live?
In Florida. So if they're attributing it to the angle alone, when I go to pick up a piece of steel at 10 in the morning, it's already so hot, I damn near need gloves to pick up a piece of steel.
Where do you live, Brian? Because I live in Minnesota, and I've been plenty of times I can see my breath at noon.
Brenda, 6 months with no darkness, just the sun shining for 6 months, never steady.
What does that have to do with seeing your breath?
And it's 3.5 million miles closer to the Earth. That story makes sense to you?
So you don't have an answer to that.
Okay. Well, I recommend this. In the summertime, go out and feel the sun hit your face at 23 degrees in the summertime, and tell me how the hell you'd be able to see your breath.
Near the equator.
It's out for 6 months straight.
Yeah, that happens at the poles, either pole.
Well, there's obviously some other stuff happening at the poles, because that makes the third example of
But can you
them
see your
speaking
breath?
of 9 months of no sun. So if
Can
we
you
could
see
give
your
you
breath?
3, not where I'm at, no.
But we're not talking about where you're at. Don't lie. Stop lying. We're talking about the South Pole, not where you are, Brian. Not Florida, Brian.
Wait, what am I
South
lying
Pole.
about, liar?
Hey, Brender, shut the fuck up. He wasn't lying, okay?
Yes, he was. He was trying to pretend that
shut
we were
the
talking about
fuck
where
up.
he's at. He's
No.
trying to pretend.
Okay,
We're
no,
talking about where
no,
he
you
is.
need to stop right now. Stop, okay? Stop gaslighting. Just go on and address the argument.
It's gaslighting when he is pretending.
You're
We're talking about where he
gaslighting.
is.
Don't
We're
do
talking
it again,
about
Brenda.
the
Don't do
South
it again.
Pole.
Don't do it again.
We're talking about the South Pole,
You asked
right?
me where I was from. You asked me where I was at.
Why is the southern hemisphere so different from the northern hemisphere when it comes in terms of geography and the wildlife and things? There's very little fauna in Antarctica.
Just another coincidence.
Antarctica, because it's an entire continent of snow and ice, practically. It's a very little.
If you match up the
Brenda,
northern, the average.
He just asked why that is the case, and you simply answered that that's the case.
No, I answered why. Because it's almost entirely glaciers and snow and ice.
But you can
That's
go up
why.
to the 60 degrees north and you can find trees and people live there. And it's temperate during time of the year.
It's almost like there's 10,000 variables that dictate what's going to happen with fauna. And then you wanted to attribute it to just one variable.
Yeah, that's a pretty big variable.
It is a pretty big variable, and there's influences, but there's also other things happening that will dictate this.
Like what?
If you wanna
What
talk
could
about-
what could be more
like
impactful
what?
than the sun?
We can talk about the fauna that's in Australia, Africa, South America. We can talk about all that if you want.
No.
Yeah.
Answer the
What's
question.
more impactful than the
answer the
sun?
question. You said there are other variables. What other ones?
the land mass.
How does that affect the result?
I mean, you could be in the Tropic of Cancer during the summer. In one place, the temperature is like 25, and in another place, when it's noon, it's like 45. Both cities or both places on the same latitude line, but you can find like 20 degrees discrepancy.
We're not talking.
yeah,
We're not talking
it
about
averages.
temperatures.
It averages 30 to 40 degrees colder.
Hold on, Brian. No, Brian.
Yeah, go
What
ahead.
were the two cities?
You can go to Africa and you can see on the map that this place green on that latitude and other places that's just desert.
Yeah, but you're going to get the same pretty much roundabout averages. It's 30 to 40 degrees average colder. According to the weather stations in Antarctica, it was on an average of 30 to 40 degrees colder.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I'm just giving an example that two places could be on the same latitude and each one has like 20 degrees higher than the other.
We weren't talking about temperatures. We were talking about the flora.
All right, that's fine.
Fauna.
So the flora in Florida is at the same latitude. The flora there is going to be wildly different from the flora that's in the fucking Sahara Desert. It's the same latitude. We could talk about temperatures. We could talk about being close to water. We could talk
what
about
we're
mountains.
talking about is 60 degrees north.
At the
We're
same
talking
latitude,
about-
you have a fucking desert, and then at the same latitude, you have a fucking swamp.
We're talking about 60 degrees north versus 60 degrees south.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
You know what makes sense to me is that in the South, it's surrounded by a long distance without the sun, and in the North, it's always within the sun. Does that make sense?
Makes sense on a flat Earth, yes, it does.
Yeah, and it kind of matches up with what we see too, doesn't it?
What happens in the north with the sun is the same exact thing that happens with the south with the sun, just 6 months apart.
No, not if it were on a flat plane, because
I know,
the sun
but
would
it's
go
not
around in the
flat plane.
circle, and then if you went in the center, obviously, the sun's overhead, you can go over the North Pole and you'll run into another area where the sun, so you're always kind of within the circle of the sun. And in the South, if you go away from the sun towards the south, you're not going to run into the sun again. It's just, who knows, maybe there's a long distance, kind of like a kill zone to keep us away from there, that's just all frozen over. So you've got more cold air.
That must be where the bad weather. That must be where the bad weather comes from. Because think about it, where is the super cold coming from in Antarctica? Okay, if we have these super cold storms, they say hot goes to cold. So when me here in Florida, you in Minnesota, you have the cold air rushing down from the north. Okay, so the cold air is coming down from the north, hitting you in Minnesota, then coming down, hitting me in Florida. Where is the colder storms coming from in Antarctica? If it's already, it's already a certain temperature, and you have a Antarctic blast coming from Antarctica, so it's basically cooling itself, and it's 3.5 million miles close to the sun. Everything about it is fallacious.
It's not fallacious. It's your lack of understanding.
Okay,
well, I'm just saying that
okay?
on a flat Earth model with a sun that rotated around a central point, I would predict what we see. Wouldn't you agree?
Where's the colder air coming from? I'm trying to ask.
No,
Who's that?
you have no prediction power. You have no prediction power on a flat Earth with the in respect to the sun and weather. You have no prediction power.
Of course you do. We
How
just
about
talked about it.
try the almanac? Try an almanac, bud. A geocentric almanac, predicting all the eclipses, all the weather for 100 years, man.
I mean, this isn't really a kind of something that I thought we would debate, because it seems to be self-evident. If we're on a circle and the center has the sun, so it's like this, and who knows how far it goes out, and you've got the sun going around in a smaller circle in the center around a smaller circle. Let me make that a different color so you can see it.
There's already been beat.
Okay, so in this area, you're always in the sun. The sun's going around the outside of this.
Shut up, Io.
The sun's going around the outside of this, right? And then so anywhere inside of this is kind of within the sun. So if I'm here, I go this way, there's the sun. If I go away from the sun's path, then who knows how far this extends out there. There's obviously ice and frozen tundra. Who knows how far that is? There's no other heat source coming from that direction. So I'd expect this to be colder out here and frozen over and all that shit than here within the circle of the sun. That's what I would predict on a map like this. Is that what matches up to what we see?
Explain Greenland, Canada, the North Pole, Iceland, the Serbia, Russia. Explain those cold fucking places within that red circle then.
No, I think you've missed the point.
They're cold. People live there. Trees grow. It's habitable.
Yeah, the sun never gets close to it, bro.
I'm talking about on a macro level.
The sun is what brings the heat. It never gets close.
I'm talking about on a macro level. It just seems logical to me what I said. Yeah, you can find some exceptions in here where there's some colder areas and some warmer areas, and we could probably figure out the reasons for those. But in general, at a macro level, what we see matches what I would predict on a model such as this.
It doesn't.
Where's the lowest temperature is ever recorded?
Outside of that circle.
The
Say that
lowest
again,
temperature is ever.
What about Ushuaia?
Biodo, what did you say?
I said we just showed how it's there's no predictive power with just that one variable, as well as having Australia, parts of it being a desert with extremely high temperatures outside of that circle.
Everywhere else.
Wait a
everywhere
minute.
else in reality.
Hold on. Why are you taking it down to the micro level and looking at the kind of regional, maybe geographically driven changes in here? I'm looking at the big picture here.
Right. I'm only doing what you guys did when I brought up 10,000 variables for why fauna exists in certain places and not. You said we're only looking at one big variable. So what I'm doing is I'm taking that same logic to what you're presenting with your one big variable, and I'm making the same statements that you were earlier that you had a problem with.
No, I think this is circular reasoning. Can I just step in there and just say no?
It actually isn't.
I think the point is. Wait there. Hang on. Let me explain it, for God's sake. God. Either way. So what they're saying is that there is this difference that there's no land mass in the north, it's just floating ice, and there is a massive continent in the south, which creates all of this life. So
Antarctica
that was
doesn't
the
create
core.
life. Antarctica doesn't create life.
There's life on
No
there.
continent creates life. They're either sustainable or they're
There's
not.
life on there, for God's sake.
That there's more life in the north, not the south.
But nothing can survive there because it's all floating ice.
No, that's what they were saying, not me.
No,
Yeah,
things
okay.
I think one claim it's
adaptable enough for the environment. Just like any other location, you can't put a fucking penguin in the desert, and you can't put a lion in Antarctica, but they have certain adaptations for the environment.
No, we're straying from the point. We're straying from the point. I think what I'm trying to say is the minor details that you're arguing is part of the subset of what they're trying to ask back to you. Why is there this difference in the first place? Why is there no land mass in the north and a massive big continent 1.5 times the size of Europe in the south?
Oh, that's simple.
God wants it to be so.
That's good enough.
Antarctica was once a part of Pangaea. It moved there over billions of years. It was once warm tropical seas. It moved there.
Nice story.
Left the north.
Not a story. It
is a story. It is.
It's a fact.
It is.
Well, you can deny, but that's just how things are.
It's not a fact. It's a theory. Come on.
No,
don't be
it's
silly.
a fact. It is. It's
No.
verified.
That's not how facts work. We went through this the other night.
Let's break
That's
this
not
down
how
and put
facts
it in
work.
reality, man. In reality, if we take a spinning ball, the force is going to go toward the equator area. Okay. Another thing in reality is if you take a heat source, the closer you get to that heat source, the warmer you're going to get. So the further you get away from it, the colder you're going to get. I'm asking, where is the cold blast of blizzard in Antarctica coming from? If it's already cold, I mean, where's the colder air coming from?
Lack of sun. It's a lack of energy from the sun and different pressures bombarding each other. but it'll be mostly from a lack of energy.
So the sun's out for 6 months without setting, and it's lacking energy up there.
Yes, because there's a difference between direct heat and indirect heat.
Ain't it more likely that that they're further away from the heat source?
Okay, can I say something about the distance on a flat Earth?
If it were farther, you would have an angular size change. So no, that is not one of the. It is a possibility if we were not able to measure the angular size of the sun, that would be a possibility.
Unless
Because
you're
we can
wrong
measure
about
the
necessitating a
possibility
angular
of-
size change.
The Earth is actually closer to the sun in the winter than it is in the summer.
Yeah, Antarctica's winter.
Antarctic
It's
summer.
3.5 million miles closer, and Antarctica's winter.
But the entire Earth is closer to the sun in the winter than it is in the summer.
No.
Or Antarctica, for the southern hemisphere.
The entire Earth is
No, it's
closer.
not.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is.
3 million.
That's just
difference be-
retarded, Brenda. How can something that is heating up something be more closer and not be more hot? It's just
according to
fucking
the
retarded.
Because it
Model.
isn't the closeness that's making
According
winter and
to the
and summer.
heliocentric model, listen, according to the
that's your-
heliocentric model, the sun's
guys are
elliptical
upside down.
orbit puts it 3.5 million miles closer during the southern hemisphere's winter. So it's colder when it should be warmer because we're 3.5 million miles closer. That elliptical orbit also is supposed to explain the giant loop at the bottom of the analemma. That
That's
3.5
correct,
million
that's
miles,
correct.
which is only about 1% or 1.5% difference, is supposed to be accounting for the loop being way bigger than the southern hemisphere.
Just
None of it makes sense.
total fantasy.
No, so it's measured. So the Earth
It's
is
not
3
measured.
million miles. The Earth is 3 million miles closer to the sun
No,
Right?
it's not.
than in the summer. It is.
No.
It's
Why is it
And yet
colder?
it's
Why is it
colder,
colder
right?
then, Brenda? Brenda, why
That's
is it
correct.
colder?
And yet it's cold.
Do they use a
Yes,
pumpy?
No, stop
That's right.
asking. Stop asking Brenda more questions. Make Brenda justify the claim. Okay.
Yeah, two objects.
Justify
one
the claim.
size of the planet, one the size of the Earth, and one the size of the. Or you can use the sun. Just get another little object. You show us how this happens, Brenda.
Demek, I provided you two models that were to scale. Do you remember me showing you that?
I don't. You who? Who are you? You came to my house and showed me what?
The guy that provided two models to you for the scale
You
of the
came to
moon.
my
and the
house and
sun.
showed me
Do you
what?
remember looking at them?
You came to my house in real life and we looked at what?
And this is why talking to flat earthers is fucking
You gave me
retarded.
the
What's
address
up,
to go to
T-Mac?
what lab that we can redo what? You gave me a reproducible thing in what lab, where, what day?
You're doing great, Demek. Keep it up.
Yeah, you're doing poor. So, these moon rocks that we supposedly have, can we see those make tides too in a live demonstration?
The subject. I'm
Biodual?
just waiting. I'm just waiting patiently for a chance to explain. When people are ready, let me know.
Oh, go
Okay,
ahead.
we'll get back to you.
We won't be ready.
Brenda is correct.
I know. Yes, I am.
Listen, neither one of y'all quit saying we measure shit when we don't measure it. Okay, that is dishonesty.
No, that's not true.
Stop
you
saying we don't
just
measure
denying.
when we measure
Just stop
things.
saying
That's
we don't
the
measure.
problem.
Hold on. Not one of you Globers have ever looked at something in the distance you didn't know existed and do a calculation that's brand new out of nowhere and told us where something was, the distance away, the height of the object, the density, the thickness of the object, the weight of the object, and what's in the object. Spectroscopy.
You're doing
Try
great,
that.
Demek.
Try it on
It
Earth,
happens
Biodual.
all the time.
Try it on
Okay,
Earth,
Boomer.
Biodual.
Okay,
Hold
Boomer.
hands.
Yeah. Okay, Boomer. Okay, Boomer. Sit down.
I don't know what that means, not evidence haver.
Right. So when you're all ready, the difference is in the
We're
area.
We're not
The
ready.
difference is in the area.
We're not
that
ready.
It gets illuminated by the
No,
sun.
we're not ready. We're not ready.
Demonstration, Brenda. Not your story of another fantastical story of another imaginary friend you had when you were a kid that you know the weight of. We need the demonstration of one object sitting in one heat source doing what you claim.
Okay, Boomer. Okay. So
the globe don't do demonstrations.
what
guys.
makes
You know,
what
they don't
makes
do
it,
demo.
what make the
No,
makes the
we didn't
difference
ask
between
you. We didn't
the
ask you this
summer
question.
and the
We didn't
winter
ask you this
is
question.
the angle of the sun,
We
not
didn't
its proximity.
ask you this question. You made a
We
claim.
want demonstration. We want demonstration, not rhetoric.
The pipe.
You made a claim. You made a claim that the 3.5 million miles was measured. Go.
Cricket
They don't
No,
do.
that's a
They don't do
demonstration
measurements. They don't do
space.
demonstrations, man. They do calculations
Of
and
course,
assumptions.
it's measured.
Of
It's
course,
an
it's
ellipse.
measured.
Okay,
people.
go.
Of course.
Okay, go.
You can predict.
No, stop. No,
every
stop with the
single
rhetoric. No,
part of an
stop.
ellipse.
No, stop with the rhetoric. No, go ahead and demonstrate the
An
measurement
ellipse.
of 3 point.
An ellipse has a function.
Okay,
It's completely
we're not talking
predictable.
about ellipses, Dr. Fullable. We're not talking about ellipses. We're talking about
We are
3
the orbit. The orbit of the
3.5
Earth is
miles.
the orbit of the Earth.
3.5 miles.
The million.
You don't need to be an
Before you claim it's an ellipse, you're gonna show us how you measured that it was an ellipse. Otherwise, it's just begging the question, though.
Yeah, the
No,
flat
that's
Earth
not
model
begging the
predicts. The flat Earth model predicts that
observe it.
Antarctica is going to be colder than.
You don't have a model.
So now
Oh yeah, we do. It's a lot better than your model.
Present the model. Present the model. You know our model. We provide it all the time. Present your model, please.
I just did.
Excuse me, you don't provide jack shit, bro. You, in
I'm presenting my other
the
predictions right now.
in the
Okay,
past
what do
year,
you want
guys
presented?
have. Thank you, Brian.
I'm presenting weather predictions. I'm presenting my weather model. Okay, the flat Earth explains. Okay, it shows a sun. Okay, so if you want me to pull up the diagram, I could pull it up and show you what it looks like over the flat Earth. You will see a nice concentric ring of heat where the sun is, and you'll see it getting colder as it goes away from the sun. And you will see our model predicts perfectly the colder weather in Antarctica. Okay, the globe don't predict shit.
Demonstration, please.
We need a globe live to show what you're predicting with the globe.
He made the claim that he has a model. I'm waiting for his model, please.
If someone wants prediction about the globe regarding orbits and the sun, then I did it all.
Not
You've
one
never
of
seen
you
the
has
flat
ever
Earth
provided
model
us
of
with a
the,
globe model. You just claim that it exists.
Wait, Bio,
Okay.
have you ever been to Bob's Wig?
You've given us pieces and bits and parts and claims and all that. So you never provided a single time an actual globe model.
I
When you
have
provide yours, perhaps
in my channel.
Wait a minute.
Can we get that, please?
BioDual's never seen the model of the sun and the temperature model of the flat Earth. You've never seen the wind model of the flat Earth, the jet stream model, the ocean currents model. 10 times better than a globe model.
It should.
I
It's so good that
piss a flat Earth model that would work better than a globe model. I could piss on the floor and that'd be a better flat Earth model than a globe ever in the whole world's history of time.
Yeah, at least we can demonstrate things.
What we're waiting for is globes, because I'm a non-glober with an imaginary globe that's invisible and I can't see, touch, taste, hear, smell, nothing about it. It has never existed.
That sounds like a personal problem.
Okay,
Not mine.
Yeah.
No,
Can I have a minute, please? Can I have a minute? Regarding the 3 million difference, I wouldn't say I discovered that it is 3 million. I would only say it's 5%. Because I've made a sun calculator that calculates everything just like time and date, just like suncount.org, exactly the same, and it sucks. Previously, it sucked because I made a circular orbit. There was always like 5 minutes, 20 minutes, sometimes 1 hour discrepancy in some places. But when I added the orbit, the elliptical orbit, everything came just perfect.
You don't even know
You know the flat Earth model, Crow?
Of course not.
What is he even talking about? A comic book he writ?
The difference between Newton and Kepler.
You said you was going to model the flat. You said you was going to try and model the flat Earth. He's going to look into modeling what you call it.
No, you don't have a model.
No,
Yeah, we do, Brenda. I just told you.
Hey,
okay? You have a
Crow,
model for
Crow,
everything.
your formulation for eclipse or an ecliptic calculation, how accurate is your calculation for it?
Well, since you don't have an eclipse to show for a globe with two objects, and you can use the real sun and get two little balls and show us your eclipse with that, then we're.
I don't understand the question. I don't understand the question.
So,
Okay.
so you used a circle to calculate the using your sun calc. You use a direct circle, right?
Yes.
And you notice that it doesn't line up. So you have to use an ecliptic calculation, right?
Yes.
You can't use Euclidean at this point. You have to use an added feature into it to give you a parabol effect that's not a circle, right?
Do you think parabolas are not Euclidean?
It's
No, it's not
Euclidean,
that.
but
It's on the
yes.
curve.
Yeah. Yeah, I use the elliptic orbit.
Right. So do you have your calculation handy?
Yeah, if you give me 5 minutes, I can share the whole calculator.
Yes, you should do that. Also, in your sun calc, did you adjust for the 1 degree movement every day? Like it changes position 1 degree?
Yes, yes.
You did all that. Have you looked at the navigation from the Viking compass and how it works?
No.
Oh, because it solely works on the movement of the sun. Has nothing to do with Earth's
Yeah,
rotation.
you only need two objects for a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse. You only need the sun and the moon. You don't need the Earth at all. Not one fucking iota have you ever needed the Earth.
So what's blocking the light from the moon?
Yeah, your whole time you're watching the sun movement, you're not calculating anything to do with Earth rotation. You realize that, right? You actually put the sun on the ecliptic path. You didn't. Hold on. You put the sun on the ecliptic path, not the Earth, right?
No, I had to account for the spin of the Earth. It just 23 hours and 56 minutes. If I put it 24, it all goes wrong.
Yeah, you have to put it on an ecliptic path for it to work, which the sun is on the path, not the Earth, right? According to Kepler, according to the way Kepler did it, the way that Kepler did it, he calculated the ecliptic path of the sun, right? Not Earth
I
rotation.
get your point. I get your point. That the sun is going around the ball Earth, not the ball Earth going around the sun. My calculator doesn't prove either cases. It just calculates.
No, you're missing my point. You have to observe the sun. That's the only way you can get the calculation. You're not calculating Earth rotation. You're calculating the movement of the sun.
Yep.
Minus the Earth rotation.
That's not how that works.
No, you start with the movement of the sun first.
If I didn't put the spin of the Earth, then everything goes wrong. And I will show you that.
If you're putting the spin of the Earth, then you're talking about it speeding up and slow down along an elliptical path as it would do in reality, right?
The spin doesn't change.
Listen, Crow. All that means, Crow, is that you started out with an invalid major premise. The very start of your setup is flawed. That's why when you get to step 10...
No, it's very valid. I'm testing the claim by putting the parameters in equations that I made myself. I didn't look into astronomy. I didn't quote anything from NASA. I took like 6 months.
I didn't say you did that. I didn't say you did that. I did not say you took anything from NASA. I said that you, using whatever formula you think that you created on your own, great for you, you still started out in the very first step as a misstep. What was the very first thing you started out to prove?
Not started to prove. I was testing the 4 numbers. The tilt, the spin, and the orbit. I was testing these numbers.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Okay, so you create. Okay, listen very carefully. So you started out on the wrong foot. You took a misstep in the wrong direction, and when you got to step 10, when you went for the orbit of the sun, it was all to shit because you started out.
What was the misstep?
It's go back to what he just said about his.
What it sounds like is that he has a perfectly operating prediction machine for what we observe precisely. That's what it
You're
sounds
missing
like.
the point. You're missing my. You're missing my statement.
Do you think that a hypothesis is begging the question? Is that what you think?
How did he collect the data that he used for this model? By watching the sun? Did you watch the sun and the way that it moves around the sky?
Initially, that was it.
You watch the sun and the way it moves around the sky. and then you derived some mathematical formulas to describe the movement that you were watching, and then for some reason you reified that mathematical model that you created to describe that movement into the ground that you're standing on, being a ball. That's
Well,
what they
what I said is that I took the parameters, the four numbers, the four important numbers,
Yeah,
to test
and
them.
that was your misstep.
Test.
You started off begging the question. You started
Bro,
off
listen,
begging the
this
question.
is the truth.
You
This
don't
is the truth,
understand
Crow.
how a hypothesis
Crow,
works.
you'll
You don't
never
understand
see
how
a
the
stationary
universe-
sun.
Hold on a
You will
second.
never
How
see
old
a
is this math?
stationary sun, right? So
How does this circle math you boys keep repeating? You ever tried any new math?
Oh,
with your
okay,
bullshit
Boomer.
math?
Okay,
And
Boomer.
you ever
Okay, Boomer.
played on Earth with the distances? Liar.
Okay,
So,
Boomer.
show me your cool ass math where you can just look at stuff and tell everything about it. Funny boys with your comic book stories and do it
Show
on.
us if we don't have any map or anything to work on.
Put an object up. He tells you the color. Once you see it, you give us your fucking great calculation live on Earth.
Okay, Boomer. All right, Boomer. That's okay. Now sit down.
Hey,
Brandon, you got to try something. You got to try something better, dude. Quit saying that shit. Try something better.
Why do you keep calling him a boomer? I don't get it.
You're not.
He probably
Boomer.
is trying
It's
to be
just-
cool
it's just
with
current-
all the
He's just learned
youngins,
what it means.
thinking
Current
he's
slang.
awesome using phrases like "okay, boomer."
Hey, girlfriend.
Didn't one of those
hey, girlfriend.
Twitch thoughts
Hey,
come up
girlfriend.
with that?
Don't get your panties in a twist.
Girlfriend.
There,
The truth doesn't have to be cool. The truth doesn't have to keep up with the times, boy. You got to keep up with the truth, son.
You should heed your own advice, Demok. It'll do you good.
Is Professor
Yes.
Phil still in the on the panel? Phil, you there?
No, I think I pissed him off when I called him Dr. Fullable.
Damn it. You do that every time I want to ask him about this fucking picture.
Quit scaring off the guests. No.
Somebody
Don't
scares him off.
show you guys. He might show you triangles, parabolas, cornbread.
Cornbread.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
just demonstrate. Hey guys, want me to show you cornbread? I'll grab a Snickers. Huh? Hold on a minute. Why wait?
Anyway. Okay, so we settled that. So obviously, you haven't determined that the sun is that much further away. You've just assumed it.
You didn't settle that. That's
Yeah,
what do you think
we
a
just
hypothesis
figured that all
is,
out.
Brand?
That's the
What do you think a
conclusion we came to.
hypothesis is, Brandon? What do you think a hypothesis is?
What do you think a demonstration is, Brenda? What do you
Hold
think?
on,
a
Crow.
demonstration
Hey,
is?
I want to
He
ask
doesn't
Crow
know.
XD something. Crow, is Crow still there?
He's got his headphones on mute.
Does he really? Damn.
He's
I
he's
post-
probably getting his stuff. He's probably getting his program ready to show.
I posted the upward refraction model, and I put it on a graph, and it makes a perfect parabola, man. And so, in other words, if they're using the sun to judge all this shit, the way we see it with perspective, then that explains perfectly how it would appear like that on a flat plane and make them think it's a globe.
Yep, makes sense to me. Brian, you set your sandwich down on here or something? What's all this?
No, it's
Yeah,
just
man.
rusted.
What-
It's been
Why
through
do
the
they
wars.
Okay.
Why do they keep saying that? Why do they keep saying that they are predicting the movement of the sun?
They ain't predicting
Because
shit.
we
It's the
do.
same.
Yes,
Listen,
we
it's
do.
no. It's the same way that they say
The
that.
sun.
Hold on.
The sun.
Hold on. Just
the sun-
hold on. Just real quick. It's the same. It's the same sleight of hand in the word spell when they say that they've measured something when they've calculated it. Okay. They are redefining. They are redefining these terms because they have to create La La Land and redefine these terms.
Yeah, they're desperate.
That's
They
why-
say that the
that's why I'm
globe
asking-
model predicts the black swan. Fight the flat
Yeah,
earth with
hold on.
debate
My
Mitchell
point-
from Australia. I recommend
Brian,
Let him
everybody
get his
fight
point
that.
out.
Brian,
Or go look at my
Brian,
video,
give me a
or go to
second.
my channel and look at the highlights of Mitchell debating fight the flat
Brian.
earth. Hilarious.
give me a second. I'm just pointing out that the sun is in a pattern for who knows how long it's been. So none of these people has any predictions about the sun.
4.5
The
billion
sun is
years.
gonna rise. If I tell you that tomorrow a unicorn's farts are gonna make the sun rise up, and just because I said it that I predicted that, doesn't mean that unicorns are actually farting on the sun and making it move.
Yeah. Nobody is that deeply confused.
But then, no, you guys are not predicting jack shit. You guys
we
are seeing a
understand-
pattern and then say, no, you don't understand shit. You guys
we
made up a
understand
story
that.
about a pattern.
Yeah, they tend to mix up
About a
things like
pattern
prediction
that
and
the
guess
sun
and patterns.
does every
There's the
fucking
genius
day,
suggestion about
every
unicorns.
year.
understand.
And you guys made up a story about those patterns. And since nobody can disprove them because it's a pattern.
So we understand the cause of the pattern.
Yeah, you say that.
Now here you go. Here y'all go. Check it out. So I looked at the clock every day for 100 years, but every day around, every day or every other day in a pattern around 5 o'clock, the hour hand would vibrate just a little bit. So I made a prediction that there must be a butthole to the right off over there, farting, making it shake. So then I opened my eyes and looked off to the right, and there was a butt. Look, I opened my eyes and looked to the right, and sure enough, there was a butthole right next to the 5 o'clock hour hand, making it vibrate. That's
Brenda,
what they call
can I ask
prediction
you
on
a
the
question?
globe.
Inclusive.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
He turned around and saw a butthole.
May I ask you a question real quick?
It looks in the mirror. That's a globe prediction for you right there.
Real quick. The sun rises in the east, sets in the west, correct?
Duh.
Okay, so we have counterclockwise and clockwise star rotation. Why doesn't the sun do the same thing? And the moon.
What do you mean? If you plot the sun, what are you talking about?
So we're in the Tropic of Cancer, right? It's going counterclockwise, and the Tropic of Capricorn is clockwise. Why doesn't the sun do the
turned
same
around.
thing?
Because you what? Because you
Why doesn't
turned
the
around.
sun have a rotation?
Because it's bullshit. The sun, everything moves east to west on the globe.
Yes,
They're trying to trick
straight line. Because the sun will be behind you if you look north.
Counter-rotating when they're not.
It's always
No,
rising in the east, setting in the west.
if you're in the north hemisphere, you have to look north to see a certain rotation. The sun will be behind you.
All you'll ever see is an arc in the distance, okay? Unless you can give me one from the North Pole looking under Polaris and the South, South Pole looking up. Show me a circle directly overhead in the
How
South,
is there
and
a
then I'll
South
believe
Pole,
it.
Brian? How is there even a South Pole, Brian?
I'm saying that so you know what I'm talking about, Brenda, because you have no
Brenda learned
concept
something.
of other models.
Brenda just learned something.
You
You just learned something. There you go.
For
Penis learned
ceremony.
something else.
Yeah, you
Both
did.
Brenda
Yeah,
and Penis do know that there is no South Pole. Good for you guys. You learned something.
There's a South
Which one?
People are
Which
there
one?
now. What do you mean?
That
which
imaginary line point in the
There's three of
sky.
them. But okay, you want
Yeah,
according
which
to you,
one?
there's three of them. Two of them are in the same place, but that's
Underneath
okay.
according to your model, there's 3 of them.
No, according there's 3 North Poles too. Okay. Go.
Well, they couldn't find it, so according to their model, they just stuck it off in the
Actually, no,
ocean.
there is a South Pole there. According to you, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, ceremonial South Pole is all there is.
30-some people there at the South Pole.
There's a
right now.
pole they stuck in the ground, and they call it the ceremonial South Pole. That's the only thing, and it's an actual
It's at the-
pole
it's at the
they stuck
South
in the
Pole.
ground, and they pray to it.
Yeah, we don't pray to it. Nobody prays to it, you fucktard, except you.
I have a question. I heard the word hypothesis earlier, and I heard something about a cause. What is the experiment we're trying to do here? What's the dependent, independent variable?
Oh, thank you, Mr. QE. I knew you were here.
Oh man, ain't got nothing to do with QE.
Yes, it
Come on,
does.
get out of here,
You
man.
guys know what the fuck you're talking about.
Shout out to QE for pointing out the definition.
That's how
Point out the meaning of
guys are, right?
Poison the well.
Well,
you guys
need to the word hypothesis is not owned. It's not owned by
Why
QE
don't you answer
morons.
the question?
Well, that's how this idiot is.
Why don't you?
an
No,
easy
no.
question.
Hey, NASA. Why don't you answer the question instead of red
He just
herring?
wants to poison the well.
Yeah, and fantasize about QE. He loves that name. Trust me.
The
problem is NASA doesn't understand science.
You don't.
Shout out to Quantum Eraser.
Guys, it's getting a little crazy. Please try not to talk over each other.
The problem is
Let's get ready to rumble.
The problem is
Brandon, can you hold him accountable, Brandon, please? He's been asked a question. He's been asked a question. Can you hold
Well,
him
there's like 10
accountable,
people
please?
talking, and he won't answer the question. So, pay NASA Shell if it's such a stupid question that QE always asks.
All right,
Just answer the fucking question.
I guess.
Well, and also, can I say something real quick? No, if you say that this is from QE, you're committing the genetic fallacy. You haven't shown why my question is invalid or why a
Yeah, you don't
hypothesis
understand what the
or
fuck
an
He doesn't
experiment.
care about fallacies. He
Dude.
gave up on logic a long time ago.
I gave up on logic a long time ago. Yeah, that's funny.
So explain to me. I heard hypothesis. What's your experiment?
What's your background in science, sir? What's your background in science, might I ask?
Doesn't
I'm not-
matter.
Yes. Oh, it doesn't
Doesn't
matter. So let me
matter.
talk. So is your okay? So you don't know what
You're-
the fuck
then
you're
that's-
talking about. There we go.
Oh, so you don't know me? You don't?
Yeah, he's going to make it about you at the end of the argument. What Peyton Nasa Shield is going to do is make it about you.
Means that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and you're using
Peyton Nasa Shield will make it about you instead of the topic.
We're doing
Tell us,
ad
Shield.
homs. Now we're doing ad homs. So
I'm
ad
not doing
homs.
ad hom. That's not ad hom. That's not ad hom. That's an insult.
Personal attack. That's all it is.
Hey,
Personal
Sheila, I'm here
attack.
again. Tell me
What's the
something.
difference between that and ad
Can
hom?
we look at your globe model? Can we all take a look at it
Oh,
live?
here we go. Here comes
When you
Taylor.
ask me my credentials, you are. That's a personal attack or personal determining my personality. It doesn't matter. If the question is valid, it doesn't matter where the question comes from.
Well, if you understood what you were talking about, it would help, but you don't. So.
Then tell me what I don't understand
Oh,
about what
I'm not here to teach you. I'm not here. You think I'm here to teach you?
You lost the debate
You're
straight
the
away,
one
Page
here
Shield.
for
You can't teach him.
No, you guys
You
are
can't
like
teach him.
It's right. I can't teach you.
You can't teach him. You can't teach him because you haven't got the tools.
I can't teach you because you're an idiot and asking.
You've got no tools to teach him.
It doesn't even.
No, I've learned a long time ago. You guys don't want to
It
learn.
doesn't even.
You guys don't
it
want to
doesn't
learn.
even-
Look, listen, guys.
You must have forgot it.
He said he's an idiot. He said, listen.
Shows you have no idea what the
He
fuck
said-
you're talking about.
You
doesn't
said he
help.
said. How do you know he doesn't know? Hold on. How do you know he doesn't know? You haven't explained jack shit. All you
Not
have
having
done
to
is
do.
call names, refuse to answer a question. You have not demonstrated absolutely nothing that you know anything about the subject. You haven't answered any questions. You just call names, and you claim victory over this shit.
That's all he
You're
ever
fucking
does.
stupid.
That's all he
man.
ever does.
It doesn't actually help. It doesn't actually help. It doesn't actually help to. It doesn't actually help to converse with NASA because he never brings anything to the table other than ad hom and
You guys don't
rubbish
want to learn.
arguments.
You guys
That's
don't want to
true.
learn. You rejected
Okay,
all
learn
this
me
stuff.
Oh, that's a well-established fact, Paid NASA Shill.
You
Well
don't have.
established.
You don't have.
So you've got no degree in astronomy at all, so shut up. You've got no authority here.
We are not here
Yeah,
to learn
there's a
your
guy who
rhetoric.
thinks
We're
doesn't
here
even know
to
the
challenge
shape
your
of the Earth.
rhetoric.
But he
Listen,
doesn't.
NASA Shield. NASA Shield. We're not here to learn your rhetoric. We're here to challenge your shit.
No, you're
That's
here
what we're
to be
here
an
for.
idiot. If you know,
Page
you're
has
here
a
to be a
shield face
moron.
looking
Look
through a
at that.
I just call you more names because
Yeah,
I'm
he
that
thinks looking through a
mature.
telescope
Here
is
we go.
science.
I would just like him to get a pencil out and start drawing
Here
the
we go.
straight.
Here we go. Here's Daymok now.
Do you actually
Hold on a second,
represent
hold on a second.
education here, do you reckon?
Let's get some real intelligent
Can you
people
draw
here.
me
Come
your
on,
straight
Daymok.
cities that don't ever deviate on a globe, your straight cities? Can you draw that?
Paid NASA, do you really think you represent as a 2-degree holder? Is that what your intellect really brings to the table?
I'm not here to teach you, Gleam. You're an idiot.
No, but people see you and they say, "Oh, NASA's got 2 degrees. That means he's been to an educated system. You know what I mean? A university or something." And then he comes in here and all he does is he calls people names. God, that education that he had is pretty shit.
Yeah, well, sorry.
It would be a lot
I'm here
easier.
to know enough that you don't know shit. That's for sure.
No, we know you don't know shit, NASA. Come
don't
on,
know
we've
shit,
established that many times.
Oh, Gleam, yeah.
Let's point it out every time. I try to point it out every time he talks
You don't
about
even know the shape of the fucking
instead argument. He's just trying to discredit every single person.
Go away and come back when you've got some tools, mate. You need to go away and get some tools.
I have tools. There are a lot of tools in this room.
You're talking on something that you know nothing about, mate.
This room is full of tools.
Let me ask him something real quick.
Are you here to get embarrassed again?
If I can, hold on. If I can tell you how a boat is steered bottom up, right? Not on a globe. Would that help you out?
Oh, Daymok, nothing you can say would help me
And
out.
you
trust me.
see,
Well, I'm going to show you how you.
do you guys see? Hold on. Do you guys
Listen,
see how? Hold on, bro. Let me say this, Dimok. Do you see how he just made the entire panel deviate from the question that he's been asked?
Yeah.
And now we're moving to the second thing, and he
Right.
hasn't answered yet. Can we go back to the question of Paul that Paul asked?
We
Please?
can go back to any of them they didn't answer. Yeah.
He doesn't know. That's why he won't answer.
Yeah, that's why I said it doesn't actually help conversing with him. We should actually converse with someone who wants to debate
Oh,
something.
flatzoid, yeah, another.
Sure, I'll
argument.
debate you.
Another
I'll debate you
argument
anytime.
about science. Fucking A.
Listen,
Brenda, you
Anytime,
have no clue
flatzoid.
either.
they tell
You
you
have
it's
no clue.
impossible to
You
have
think
a lunar
donuts.
eclipse on a flat Earth. So all anybody has to do. Hold on, listen, man. Anybody
The fact you even asked that question shows you know nothing about the subject.
Thank you.
Yay, Bob is
yeah.
here.
Yeah, Bob is here.
No, Bob is not.
Yippee.
He's
D-Mock,
pseudoscience.
don't help them. Please stick to the
See,
question
problem
that
is
he
that
has an
Dr. Bob
answer.
actually thinks you
The
guys should
question
just
is,
Dr. Bob is a
what
pseudoscientist.
is
No,
your
Dr. Bob is
hypothesis?
a
Bob,
scientist, moron.
Brandon, can
Help.
someone help step in? Can someone step in? Yeah, I've heard the word hypothesis. I've heard cause. There's a
Thank
thing
you.
called a hypothesis test called an experiment. So please explain to me the dependent independent variable in your, well, first of all, explain the hypothesis and then give me the dependent independent variable in the experiment. No one?
Who are you
They
talking
don't
to?
know
Who
shit.
are you
These
talking
guys are
to?
worthless. These
You,
guys
I
are
guess,
worthless.
I guess you, Brenda, because
Problem
you're
is,
the one
Paul,
brought up
they don't.
hypothesis. Wait a
Problem
minute,
is,
I think
Paul,
Brenda
they
brought
don't.
up.
Brendan,
Go
how
ahead.
about
What
on
science
the
is.
Kiwi thing? I can just pull Kiwi on you and say, "Oh, that's not a hypothesis. That's not an independent variable."
Did I say that? See,
Well, time
again, okay,
can't
you're
be an
telling me the
independent
thought
variable.
process. Are
Other
you
Kiwi
reading my
bullshit.
mind? Are you reading my mind? Do you know my thoughts? Really?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty
He
much.
doesn't know his own
How do you
thoughts.
know? How do you know? You don't know. You're you're making assumptions. So what's the hypothesis? What's the presumed cause of whatever we're talking about?
That was
What are we
like
talking
20
about
minutes
in
ago.
the first place?
That was
No,
about
it's been
20 minutes
avoided for
ago.
20 minutes ago. I know, you should have just attacked it. You've got how many degrees on the panel? And not one of you want to talk?
Here, I'll answer it.
Professors,
do-
run off.
Gleam, what I do is when you guys talk and spurg out, I just stop talking and let you work it out.
We gotta take her.
Nonsense.
We gotta
It's
take her.
been 20 minutes.
Nonsense, you're talking, you
It's been
fraff.
20 minutes of spurging out.
Look at
So
you,
let me know
spurting
when
out
you-
now.
let me
Why are
know-
you
let me know when
flirting?
you
Why are
guys
you
are done.
faffing? You should have had it already explained.
Biodual, go ahead. You said you have your hypothesis and everything. Go ahead.
So I'm assuming this is going to Crow's essential observation turned into simulation turned into prediction power. So his hypothesis for this would be, given the parameters of the globe as we know it, what prediction power does it have with reality? So he took the parameters that we understand with Earth rotation, Earth orbit, the movements, all these things. He took those parameters and he plugged it into his calculator, and he compared it to reality in which it worked. That's essentially what his hypothesis was. Now, if you want to get to the gritty details and ask about an independent dependent variable, I'll tell you to fuck off, because it's just a hypothesis that he was working with. And if it didn't work, just like baking a cake, you can have all these parameters and not know what they are. And if the cake comes out tasty, well, it fucking works. And if it comes out disgusting and doesn't work, then you adjust your parameters accordingly.
Nice
You know
throwing
what
the
that sounds
baking
like?
analogy into that
That's
fucking
not science.
word
That's
soup.
engineering.
Hold on. That sounds like a sharpshooter fallacy, which means you know what you're looking for, so you just draw your circle around it whenever you've hit your target.
Oh, fuck off.
You pretty much you make your
Whether or not the
simulation
cake
match
is
Paul, do you
your
tasty
think
is an
that
opinion. It doesn't
Paul,
help you
do you
establish
think they know
truth.
do you think they know the difference between science and engineering?
Yeah, hold on. I'll put it this way. If you can do this, so long as you also have something to compare it to. So if we had flat Earth parameters, we can also plug in those parameters, and then we can see what the predictive power of it is. All this is showing is that
That's been done.
if we have the parameters, if we have the parameters of the globe, if we have the parameters of the
I thought we didn't have a flat Earth model.
Biodual, that was done by Steve
There is no
Torrance.
flat Earth model, though. I keep getting told by these scientists.
I keep presenting it to you, and you keep on going, "Nuh-uh, shut up, you're not bringing anything to the table." Biodual.
Well, actually,
Steve
Gleam,
Torrance's
I took your
model
flat
is
Earth
built
model.
off the same
Gleam, where's the
data.
flat Earth model?
I've
Yeah,
just
Gleam,
said,
I took your
if
flat
you-
Earth model, Gleam, and destroyed it.
I haven't got a flat Earth
And then
model,
you
Bob.
denied
I haven't got a
having
flat Earth map.
Thank you, exactly.
No, I haven't got one, but Steve Torrance from FE Core has one.
I don't have a flat Earth model. I have a flat Earth map. That's fucked up.
Are you mad? No, I said
get
I
those
do
at
not have
7-Eleven?
either. I have never authored a model
You don't have
or
a
a
model.
map of the flat
Genius, you must
Earth.
have a really great. You must have a really great
Are
idea.
you
what the Earth
panicking or
is.
what? Are you
I'm not
panicking or what?
I'm not
Is
panicking, no, I'm
is
just
Steve
showing you how
Torrance a
fucked
trigger
up
word
you
as
are.
well as
Oh,
QE?
wait, I'm showing how
Look
fucked
at
up
you
you are.
panicking. You're crumbling,
I'm
mate.
not
Why are you
panicking,
spiraling?
fucktard. Look who's spiraling. Who doesn't have a model?
Listen.
Who has a
Steve
model?
Torrance has
Who
a
has
model. He is
Steve
FE
Torrance.
Core,
Oh,
and he
FE Core.
built it off of NASA JPL data,
NASA JPL data.
and he compared that to real world Star
flat, now would
Treks, and it worked.
Yep, he predicts the planet. Hold on, he
Steve
predicts the planet.
Torrance's flat Earth model. Now listen,
He predicts
the
amazing how
map.
he predicts the sun, the moon, and all the planets.
I've actually heard about flat model.
I've got to address Bob there because he just lied, as he does on his channel. He said, I have a flat Earth map, and he debunked it. And no, I don't. It was Rick Pontiff, another flat Earther.
You presented
That
it,
is
Glenn.
not mine.
Your
yes,
map.
but it's not mine.
Your map. You were
asked for a
presenting
map.
it as
No. This is your mistake. Because when you go, I've never seen a flat
Mistake
Earth
is
map.
giving me a flat Earth
Listen,
map to debunk.
no, you're an idiot. Because you've now said that it's mine. And you've made yourself look like an absolute tit. Because no, you asked for a flat Earth map. I give you one from a flat Earther. That is not mine. It's not
Gleam
mine.
doesn't know how words work.
No, he doesn't.
No, listen,
He
anyway, go
struggles
back
a
to
little
Steve
bit.
Torrance and BioJewel, because BioJewel just said, yeah, I don't care about your particulars. Steve Torrance done exactly what you just said done, and it worked on a flat Earth model. There we go.
And it works
So
perfectly.
now what?
Predicting all the
Now what?
planets, rotation, predicting the sun.
Bring me another one I can destroy for you, Gleam.
Shut up, lying scumbag. Shut up, lying
Do you
scumbag.
understand how stupid that is? If you guys were walking by a coffee shop and you ask for a cup of coffee and Gleam buys you a cup of coffee, and then you say, "Man, Gleam, your coffee sucks."
It's exactly
That's
that.
retarded.
That is exactly it.
No, it's like this. They ask for a cup
And
of
it's said
coffee, and
because
then
I've
you give
never
them a cup,
seen
and
a
then
flat
they ask
Earth
for
model
another cup.
map.
He still violated the first rule of flat Earth. Never
never
make
had
a
coffee in
testable,
his
never
Can
make
I
a
explain it?
testable
Can I-
claim.
Good
Can
job,
I
I'm not a
explain
flat
it, Bob?
Earther, Bob, which you said I was a flat Earther, which is another lie.
Wrong channel, Bob.
Yeah,
We're on the
yeah,
channel.
yeah.
We like
You're a
demonstrations,
compulsive
Bob.
liar.
Guys,
He's
You're an
lying.
osteopath who is a
You see the-
politician and a liar. You're built for
It's-
this.
Look, it's only
On
it's
this channel,
only
if you can't demonstrate it, don't bring it.
it's
Oh,
only
Gleam,
it's
can
only
you
your
post-
problem if
Glenn,
it's
can
only your
you
problem if
post
you ascribe to
a
it.
link to that
Of course.
model, please?
Of course, Professor.
Just-
It's
just-
in the general chat in about 2 seconds for you.
Thank
Now
you very
that you've
much,
come
Glenn.
across
Much
with a
appreciated.
sensible and a nice
Gleam-
tone.
I'll take a good look
Salute
at
to
it.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, Phil,
Okay,
while you're here,
Gleam-
while
Gleam-
I have you on the call, I do have a question to ask you. Can you see my screen?
No, sorry, I can't see both at once. I haven't got that. Just
Oh, well, you need to see it in
I'll
order
talk
for...
to you in the chat. I can't do both at once.
Okay.
Ah.
Never mind then.
Well, what you
But
have
any-
is a photograph from Mage
But ask the
and
question
one
anyway,
from
if you
Anon.
like.
What's that, Brenda? What
In
do I
there
have
now,
here?
Professor.
I have two photographs.
One from
Actually,
Mage.
one's a still frame from a video. And, well, they're both still frames from videos. This is from Mage 2. 38K meters. And this 38 kilometers. And this one is from 576 kilometers. What I
Yeah,
find
right.
interesting about these two pictures and having them next to each other is the difference in the amount of definition that we see in the clouds. And its apparent proximity to the observer. If you'll see this is much, much closer to the Earth than this. About 15 times closer. This is 38 kilometers. This is 576 kilometers. You know, we can make out the definition of individual clouds in this one.
What type of
and here
camera?
it just looks like
Brendan, sorry, Brendan. Do you
solid
know what
cover.
kind of camera they used? Do you know what kind of camera they used on that?
He might be
picture?
5.7 miles up, maybe.
No. This is 570. Yeah, in reality. But according to their documentation, this is 576 kilometers.
Do you know what kind of camera they used there?
Well, not for this one
depends.
because they only offered, I think it was 480p definition. I don't know what's with these space agencies, but
And
they
look
can't
at
get a
that
hold
detail.
of
Yeah, well,
the
how
latest
fast would
camera
them satellites have to
technology.
be moving to get to them clouds so fast? If he's 576 kilometers up, how fast would the satellites have to be moving to get to them damn clouds so fast?
Well,
If
obviously,
anybody
it's
believes
not that
it's
high.
retarded.
Yeah, it's not that high, obviously. I don't know why they'd give
Yeah,
us a
but it-
video of them dropping these satellites into clouds, but that
Yeah, but-
is, by
but
all
what I'm asking-
appearances, what is
Oh,
happening.
stop with the satellite
But
dropping
what-
in the clouds bullshit.
But that's not why I put
but
these
what I'm
two
ask-
pictures next to each other. The point was to show the difference in the definition
Detail.
between these two. This is high
Yeah.
def.
But like I'm saying, if you have to take even the best cameras today, there's no way you're going to get a photo at 500 k's away, especially with any detail, even if
Why
you have to go
not?
above the
Why not?
clouds.
Yeah, this
Why-
isn't even
because you
supposed.
can't
This
get
isn't
that
even
field of
zoomed.
view.
Why
As you
not?
can see, this is a wide-angle lens on the right here. Do you see this thing? This is the ejector port, I think it's called, where they chuck these electronics equipment out here into the clouds. That's attached to
Yeah,
the,
you can see the little white
vehicle
things.
that they're throwing these out of.
They got to drop them above the clouds before the balloons, because the balloon, you see the balloons starting to inflate, and they got to do that above the clouds.
There's no balloons. There's no balloons at 500 kilometers above the Earth.
It's
Well,
not
there's
500
little white
kilometers above
spots
the Earth.
forming
That's the
behind
point,
each
Brendan.
one of them at a certain point, so they look like balloons popping out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can see it
Nothing's
right
above
here on the
500
screen.
kilometers. That's the
There's
point.
clearly something emerging
correct,
from
Doug.
the back of
By the
this
way, but nice try.
satellite. You can see it right here.
What are you looking at?
Very clear. Something comes out of the back of this
What was the
satellite
purpose?
that wasn't there before.
What's the purpose? Hey, Brandon, what is the purpose of the PSLV C-48 satellites?
Cloud bullshit.
I've got that information. If you really want to know, what does it matter in the context here?
It might be related to why you're getting crappy photos.
What?
Guess what
how?
they do? You know what I found out? They take these satellites, and because of anomalies like the South Atlantic anomaly, they all the satellites. What they do is they link them with master computers here on the ground, and they both run at the same time, and they go with the information that that is more than likely to be right. So all the satellites are linked to a main satellite or other satellites, and they average the information out or go with the information it's shown to be true. It'll
the
override the
purpose-
satellite.
So the purpose of the PSLV C-48 is simply to carry some Japan satellites.
No,
that are
actually, that's
high-resolution
not correct. You don't know what the
radar
fuck
satellites.
you're talking about.
Well,
that was not the
well,
only
I'm
purpose of
literally
it.
reading
Thank
it-
you very
I'm
much. You don't know what you're
reading
talking
it-
about.
I'm literally reading it from their webpage.
Shouldn't you
there were
first
7
prove that they are
satellites. What does this
satellites?
matter? What the fuck does this matter? What you're saying right now?
The launch vehicle is the PSLV. It carries Japan's IQPS, QPS, SAR
It
satellites.
carried satellites
that
from
raise
a couple different
Yes.
countries. What the fuck does that matter?
And where does it
might
carry
be-
it?
Huh?
It was one of
It-
Professor
that's the
Phil's.
point.
As
That's
a
the point. It's
payload.
not 500 k's up. The
Here's
point is, it's
here's
not
what
that
it
high up.
carried. Since Brenda thinks she knows everything, I'll have to make her look stupid yet again today. International customer satellites.
That's every day.
It had one from Japan, one from Italy, one from the U.S., one from Israel, and 5 more from the USA. What does this matter, though?
That might be why you're just not getting good resolution, because
That doesn't make any sense. What the fuck would where the satellites are
What
coming from
purpose?
have to do with the resolution of the video?
Yeah,
Because
because
it's
USA
basically-
and Israel have got not that much money, so they have to do cutbacks. You know,
I didn't
yeah.
say Israel.
And
I said
Japan, their skin, they're too busy cleaning up the
So,
sea.
It's basically
And,
a
yeah.
truck. It's
Stop
basically
talking
a truck
nonsense. Shut up.
carrying it's basically a truck carrying somebody else's satellite up into orbit.
Brenda's feeling a bit
So
blemished.
what?
today.
500
Sorry.
k's.
What does that matter? What the fuck is your point?
You know
So
what's
why
more
do you think
likely
they would
than that?
put? Why would they put a high def imaging camera on what is basically just a carrier vehicle?
What is your point? This is a fucking non sequitur. Who cares?
Because it's going to. Well, you're expecting them to have. It has. You're complaining that they have like a 480p image or something like that.
Out of everything I said, that's what you decided to focus on.
Why should they put a decent camera on it when it's going to burn up?
It's got nothing to do with that.
It's going to burn up when it re-enters.
You're so full of shit, Brenda. It's so
It's gonna
amazing.
burn up.
Brenda, how can they get an image at 576 Ks away if they can't even get with the best cameras on Earth to get 200
Why
Ks
did the
away?
satellites burn up in the clouds?
There's no limit. There's no limit to.
How did you
Of course
get
there's a
video?
limit.
A camera can see.
How do we have video of anything that they all burn up?
Oh, okay, Boomer. Okay, Boomer.
Okay, burn upper. How would we have
Yeah.
video of Brenda if you were burn up, Brenda?
Okay, Boomer. Sit down.
Okay, Crispy.
Now,
What answer is
Brandon.
that?
Brandon, sorry.
She said the rocket's going to burn up, or the camera's going to burn up, and the satellites didn't burn up when they got dropped in the clouds, did they?
No, because
It's a non sequitur. She's just trying to shift
They're
away from the
500
point.
kilometers above the
Brandon,
Earth.
forget Brenda a
Have you ever
second.
gone to?
I'll answer it in a sensible way of what it should be answered. That it is a decent camera. It's just zoomed in.
It's not though. It's not zoomed in.
Oh, that should have been a
higher they go, the more they
That would have been better
bloody
than what she
houses.
came up with. Agreed.
That would have been that would have been the logical solution, that you're actually zoomed in like onto the little corner bit of the one on the left.
See, the reason I know
I
that it's
just
not
wanna-
zoomed in is it's this piece that is attached to the vehicle that the satellites are coming out of is in focus. This is a wide angle lens.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you know,
oops.
it's also weird. You get cameras at museums that were supposedly in space, so I don't know how they didn't burn up.
Anybody who thinks
Flatsoid,
that
is there a distance beyond which a camera can't see?
anybody
Yes,
who
it's-
thinks that shot from 576 miles was born with a blemish.
Yep.
I was just hoping that, okay, so other people interrupted, but Flatsoid, is there a distance, a limit to how far any camera can see?
Yes, because you're looking through atmosphere.
Well, what if you're not?
You are always looking. You're telling me there's
But
no
what if
atmosphere
you're
no
not?
matter where you go.
Yeah, but what if you're not?
We are. We live in reality.
I know, but what if you're not?
Wander off to Brenda in La La Land just for a minute.
Yeah, why must I answer something- I must answer unicorn farts because you say so. No,
So,
Brenda.
so do you think so the
everything
moon-
has a limit.
So the moon.
Do you
is
understand?
200 The moon is 240,000 miles away.
No,
How
it's
can
not.
we see it? How can we see the moon since it's
Because it's not
200
245,000 miles away. That's just
No,
your
that's called
belief
begging
that
the
it is.
question. This is a
Yes,
good,
it is
this a
begging the
good
question.
example
You're
of
begging-
begging the question.
Yes, you
So
are.
You
Great.
are. You are begging
No.
the question.
You made the claim it's 275,000 miles away, not me. So you begging the question.
Yeah, it's
Do you
been
even know what
measured.
begging the question is? No,
Yes,
it
I
hasn't.
do.
How's it been measured? Who measured it? How?
Well, Blue Marble Science did it himself.
How? Okay, how did he do it?
He and Bob. Dr. Bob, is Dr. Bob still here?
I asked how
Dr.
they
Bob
did
is
it.
Dr. Bob is still here. Dr. Bob measured the distance to the moon.
You mean
with Blue Marble.
calculated? You mean calculated
That's
on
a
a
measurement.
presupposition?
No.
Measurement.
Calculations and measurements. Bye bye. Ignorance speaks for itself.
Keep dreaming. They dream big. I mean, I respect them for dreaming big, but it's all it is a story and a dream.
Why would you want to go along with the story that says you're on a little spinning ball floating through nothingness? That's what I always wonder. Why is that so appealing?
Because we can
Oh,
demonstrate it. That's why.
You can't though. You can't demonstrate shit
I
about
did.
your model.
I did repeatedly.
Literally, we ask you for demonstrations consistently. You tell us that you can't demonstrate it.
I did. I've got 3 of them.
Demonstrate the atmosphere for me. How it moves in lockstep with the solid
I'm breathing
surface.
in it right now.
Demonstrate something getting colder the further away it gets from the heat.
Demonstrate water
We asked for a
sticking to the
demonstration of
outside
your
of a giant
model.
ball
All you
inside
just
of a
did was
vacuum.
demonstrate the flat Earth model.
I don't really need to demonstrate anything on the globe. You need to demonstrate that my beliefs are wrong. Because
No.
I
That's a personally demonstrated. Hold on. I personally demonstrated a pressure gradient inside containment. Now you show it me without.
Show it to me. Show it to me.
It's on my video. You go to Flat Earth Test.
Give me the video.
Pressure
Give me
gradient
the link.
and
Put it right in the link. I'll go look at it right
Wait a
now.
minute. Who the
All
fuck
right,
are
I'll
you,
post
Bob, to ask us for demonstrations? You cannot demonstrate shit with your model.
I already have. I don't need to demonstrate it anymore. I've
Can
already done
just
it.
sit here. This panel could sit here and name all the things that you can't demonstrate.
No, you can name the things you claim I can't demonstrate, and then I can just simply demonstrate.
Like shoe is a phenomena. Like a shoe is a phenomena. You can't demonstrate that.
I don't
That's
even
cool.
think he knows what a demonstration is. A
I don't think so either.
That's cool.
Actual objects in
What
your
do you want me to
hand or
demonstrate?
in a lab.
Earth's
In a
cool.
lab that we can reproduce. Me and you. Oh, why? Oh, why? Now why?
How would
Now
you
the
evaluate
excuses
my
start.
demonstration?
Now the excuses start. Because I would touch it and
Somebody
reproduce
taught
it,
it.
you stupid.
No, how
We
would you
both do
evaluate
it.
my demonstration
We
if I
would both
demonstrated it
do
for you?
On Earth,
How would you
stupid.
evaluate it?
We would both do it, retard.
See, that's the problem. You see, you ask questions, but you don't even know how to evaluate the answer to them. Because you don't want to know. It's a cult.
Just
It's a-
posted
just
it in general,
answered.
Bob. I
You need
posted
a
my
ball.
a pressure
Exactly,
gradient
you
and
don't wanna
cycle payment.
All right, well,
general,
you guys
Bob.
carry on. I'm going to go look at Brian's
Yeah,
video
go
real
get
quick.
your balls.
Okay.
Nobody
It's simple.
caught
Anybody
that.
can repeat this, y'all. Just get a bunch of PVC pipe, right? And run it about, just to be safe, just go ahead and run it like about 80 feet, 100 feet, just half-inch PVC. And then at the end of each one, wrap them around toward each other. Put one pipe in ice water at the end, and put the other end in boiling water, just the last 5 feet. And put a balloon on the end of each pipe to cap it off. And you'll see the side with the heat. Well, it'll blow up just a little bit, but it's enough to easily see. You know, there's no real disputing it.
Hey, shout out to Silent Zero who super chatted $10. He says, "Good show, Brandon. They keep deviating from the questions." That is a true story. You guys can't answer a fucking straight answer for your life.
Well,
Hey,
Brandon,
Well, and also,
Brandon, what I do,
Can I jump in real quick, Brandon?
Brandon, what I do, Brandon, what I do, Brandon, what I do is when people start getting excited and over talking me, I just be quiet and wait until you're done.
What
And
evidence?
that's why the question
Why
never
evidence?
get answered because
No.
you guys never come back.
right?
You guys never come back.
Stop
to
doing
me
an
like right
emotional
now.
appeal. You could have
Right
answered
now.
questions by now.
And
See,
silence
right now,
doesn't help them.
You keep
Demonstrate.
always
interrupting,
plays victim.
and therefore the question never gets answered because
And
Why you always
you
play
can't
victim,
stay.
Brenda?
You're like chickens trying
Because
Why you
I'm
always
to.
play
Too
victim?
busy doing my emotional play.
for
Everybody
your
listen to
story.
my
You're
emotional
wasting
Can I
play.
make an observation? Dr. Bob said he has a belief that he wants the flat earthers to disprove. No one caught that. That means he does not know the earth is flat. He just believes the earth is flat. Or not flat, I'm sorry. He believes the earth is a globe. I apologize for misspeaking.
Knowledge.
He
is a type
admitted
of-
the other day, Bob admitted
Knowledge
the
is
other
a
day
type of
several
belief.
times that he agrees that the astronauts are on wires, and he agreed that they were tangled up in the wires.
No, they weren't.
When
No,
they got,
they're
yeah,
not.
he did. Go to Jose's the other day, like 4 days ago, and yeah, he agreed. He
No,
agreed
no,
several
I'm
times. Over and
programming.
over
Brenda,
and
why are
over.
you
He
speaking?
admitted.
Brenda,
He
why are
told
you
me it was
speaking
green
for Dr.
screen.
Bob?
So,
Why are
right,
you speaking
so-
for Bob?
So on
Yeah, let Bob
on
speak
the
for
Earth,
himself. He has a belief.
Yeah.
on the Earth, there may have been wires or not. I don't know, but in the space station, they're not on wires.
Didn't you hear he said Bob, not Brenda, Bob? So
In
you
the
don't have to
space
answer
station.
for him.
They're not on wires.
No,
Is
ask
this
Bob.
person?
Bob will tell you. There's green. It's green screen, and it's they're all on wires.
Well,
wire
honestly,
call
that's a, I hate to say it, but that's actually kind of it's an non sequitur to my point. Bob actually said he has a belief that the Earth is a globe. He doesn't know
Yes,
it.
Mhm.
he's
He
right.
believes it.
No,
Oh,
you
yeah,
don't
he's
understand.
right. So you have a
Let me
belief that the Earth is a globe.
If you don't interrupt me, I'll explain it to you. All knowledge.
Be careful. They're
is
very religious.
No, I don't think so, Brenda.
So let me know when you're done.
It's amazing.
tracks
It's
this
amazing.
globe.
It's amazing how Brenda can answer
Let me
for
know when
Dr.
your
Bob.
excuse turns to a
So
real
this is
object.
why you don't get the answers
Let
to
me know when
questions
your
because of
excuse
this.
comes to a real object and then becomes a demonstration with the ball
Okay,
in your
Boomer.
hand and your
Okay,
camera
Boomer.
on.
Okay, Boomer.
Yeah, okay.
So
Okay, Dreamer.
so knowledge is a type of a belief. Knowledge is belief.
It's a comic book.
Knowledge is belief.
Hey, Brenda, will you go ahead and get NASA in here and explain that to him, that knowledge is a belief? Go ahead.
Please nobody argue that dumb shit. Please don't anybody stare down with her that dumb shit. Please nobody argue that dumb shit.
It's just standard epistemology. Knowledge is
Brenda.
type of belief.
She's a very religious person. She's
Not,
touchy
it's
about her
philosophy.
religion.
It's actually epistemology, which is a branch of philosophy.
We
It
do
is
not want your
religion.
epistemologies.
She's going to defend her religion to the death, including everything that goes along with it, including NASA.
Things you
including,
don't understand, which
light
is a lot
years.
of things, doesn't mean that
I
they're
understand a
religious.
wire. I understand physics and a wire getting caught on nothing. I understand a guy who's spinning a flip, and the way you describe gravity, with there's nothing to stop him, and he just gets stopped instantly in midair, and he finishes the fucking interview upside down. I acknowledge he's a fucking idiot, and you're an idiot if you don't see that he's on a wire. It got tangled up. People are reaching everywhere. It's embarrassing, man. Your religion is embarrassing.
You really believe that?
There's no demonstration of tides on a ball in the lab setting, dirt, dust, pokeball globes that we can throw in the air and like catch dirt and wind and make a ball with it. Tornadoes don't make spheres. Nothing I've ever seen makes a fucking sphere. Why is that?
They want a model from us. We could give a model of everything that happens here on Earth. They want a model
Yeah,
of.
could you do that?
You want
Okay.
a model of
That'd be
the
great,
shit that
Brian.
light years away and stars and shit. We try and keep it
Yeah.
real. We model what we can see and what can be demonstrated. We don't
But
model
you can't
Land.
make predictions. You can't make predictions from that.
Sure we can.
I want the equation where gravity has tip mountains. Hold on. I want the pyramidal equation for gravity.
That was a nice demonstration, Brian.
Does Brenda
Thank you,
got the gravity equation for
No,
mountain
I think you did
tips?
that rather well. What do you think the
do you have
cause of that
DMOC,
balloon
muted,
blowing
Bob?
up on that side did?
Bob, do you have
Temperature.
DMOC
Right,
He
muted?
must do. He must do. He must do.
He was
DMOC was in the middle
pausing.
of talking. I think you might have him muted, Bob.
No,
Yeah.
shut up, Render. He wasn't pausing.
No, he wasn't. I heard him just fine.
So you're just ignorant.
Well,
Okay,
then wait,
carry on.
wait your turn, Bob.
And I fed right in with it. I apologize to that guy because I fed right in with it, man.
Okay, so Brian, you think that it has to do with the temperature, right?
So
Yeah,
we're
man.
just gonna let
All right, good.
Bob. We're just gonna let Bob pick up where he interrupted from. Why can't we go back to where the conversation was before Bob the woo came in
I agree.
and wanted to interrupt?
Yeah, DMOC,
Thanks.
go ahead.
DMOC left.
No, I was just
fucking
wanting
nice,
the
Bob.
gravity. I was wanting the gravity experiment or equation or demonstration with mountain points on it for the spherical mountain tips that are points like pyramids. You know what I mean?
That's just gibberish, literally.
No. Clearly, a sphere doesn't have
it's
tips
just-
and
it's
points
just
on it,
nonsense.
does it?
Just-
So when a
it's
gravity
nonsense.
makes a sphere, right? Can you show me where the sphere has points on it, please? It's not nonsense at all.
On top of that, mountains are, they say the sun angle is what makes the heat and energy. So the mountains, the side of the mountains, when they're getting 90-degree heat, like at 45 degrees, so like at about noon, or not noon, but about 10, 11 a.m., they should be hotter than midday because they're not getting a direct angle. All the sides of mountains. So you got mountain ranges that take up miles and miles. So the whole
Also,
side of the mountain facing the sun should be hotter during the morning if what they say is true and it's just a sun angle.
Yeah, and it should be facing straight out with the water when you look out like on the horizon, the angled thing away from you going around should like line up with the water and go straight out into it. You should never see the tip of a mountain ever on a globe. So also, did you hear that, Brenda?
Yeah, why would you never see the tip of a mountain?
Yeah, because if you put a pyramid on something, right, and it tilts away from you, and a pyramid has a tilt anyway, as soon as the pyramid tilts a little bit, the pyramid's going to be lined up with the ground that you're looking straight out on. So you're not going to see the tip of a mountain you won't see it. You'll see along the side of it, because going forward on a ball is elevation. If I just keep going forward on a ball, I'm going up the mountain, down the mountain, and everywhere. I'm just going forward. I'm not going up. I'm not moving anywhere. I'm just going forward on a ball. This is on a ball, mind you. This ain't reality, but it's if you're on a sphere. Now, if I had a pyramid and it goes away from me, like any square, it's supposed to tilt. The face of a square is supposed to tilt on a ball.
A pyramid isn't a square, Brandon.
Listen,
a pyramid.
Nobody said that.
The faces of a pyramid are triangles.
What does a pyramid do falling away from you on a sphere? Show us with your camera.
The face of a pyramid is a triangle.
Put your beach ball and glue a pyramid to it, and let's all talk about it live.
The face of a pyramid is a triangle.
It's a fucking demonstration that we can all speak of, or you just want to keep making shit up?
The
you want to
face
talk
of a
about
pyramid.
reality, look at reality, and discuss reality, or do you want to keep making shit up, Brenda?
The face
Is that what
of
you
a
want to do, ball girl, ball boy?
The face of a pyramid is a triangle.
You are talking out your ass without the ball in the pyramid sticking to it, buddy. Hop to it.
What shape is the face of a pyramid, Demok?
Get your beach ball and get your pyramid and put it.
What
on
shape is
the
it? What
ball.
shape is a pyramid, Demok? What shape is
I
it?
don't know what shape a sphere is yet. I'm waiting to see that.
Don't know what the shape of a sphere is.
I'm waiting. No, what's a sphere? I'm waiting to see your globe.
Do you know what a sphere is?
It's a basketball, Damon. You know what a basketball is. Come on.
No, he doesn't know
That
what a basketball is.
got mountains and valleys and dips. And
Oh yeah,
stuff.
it does actually. If you get
It's
really
got
close to
mountains,
surface.
looks like Himalaya mountains and shit.
Yeah, actually, if
Show
the
me
earth
that.
was the size of a basketball, it'd be a lot smoother than your basketball.
On that basketball now.
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
a basketball, man. You know what basketball is. Come on.
Show me the mountain points that are
I
high.
don't think he knows
He
what a
got down
basketball
to
is.
this. No, he knows what a basketball is. He doesn't realize because he doesn't
show me the
understand
one with the
scale.
mountain. What you guys
Better-
say is fucking story time.
Yeah, better than that. Show me something looming up from behind a basketball.
Yeah,
While
well,
they're
okay.
at it.
The earth was the size of a basketball would be a hell of a lot smoother than the
Sensible,
basketball.
Mr. Sensible did that. Mr. Sensible showed looming on a
Get your
basketball.
sphere on camera. Get your shit live.
Mr.
put a
Sensible
cube
did
on
that.
there.
He did
No,
it. He did
I
it
don't
live.
think he- no,
Mr.
no,
Sensible
he
did
did.
it. He did it live.
No.
Yeah, he did.
No.
Yes, he did.
Sorry.
No.
Here we go. Nuh-uh.
What did he do live?
Where's your fucking camera doing it, bitch?
He showed looming. He showed looming
You
on a
fucking
basketball
idiot.
live.
Then you redo it, bitch, and
Exactly
show
what-
us again.
He did exactly what Demok just asked for.
Fucking lie claim. So it's gonna hurt you to show your claim again. That's gonna make it so much more unbelievable. Is that what you're telling me? So if you show us again, wouldn't that back your claim, dumb bitch?
Oh, so we have to do it because you want to do it and send nuh-uh to the
you've
first
never
claim.
done it.
You're
You
saying
keep
nuh-uh
asking
to
us
the
to
second
post
claim.
things. You keep asking us to
You
post
made another
videos, and we're
claim.
posting them in repetition, and you can't produce any of the rhetoric.
No, be quiet.
What's the video?
This idiot doesn't understand what a basketball is, and he's
You don't
black.
understand what a claim is. You don't know what a mountaintop is.
Here comes paid to just try and discredit the person. Never the argument.
Well, because the argument's discredited already.
He
You just
can't.
don't
Yeah, he
understand
can't
it.
get involved in that. He doesn't know about that. Don't worry. He knows about people. He knows about calling names.
Just add a paid NASCAR.
Totally
deal.
disproven. Well,
He's a
I'm here
good
to call
name
names
caller.
because it amuses me, Julian.
Just call. You call everyone names. That's all you do. That's your only tool. That's your only tool in the box. You open the box and you go, name calling. There it is. I'll use that one this time.
Yeah, well, the problem is that the facts don't seem to get you anywhere, so I might as well call you names. It's more fun.
You haven't got any facts in the toolbox. It's just name calling.
Ball demonstration.
When you just name caller, everything looks like a name call.
Tons of facts, William. You just think it's stupid to understand them. I'm sorry.
Beach ball earthers, can I see a demo? See, I've never really seen a globe.
That's
I've
not
never
really
seen
your
a globe in my
problem,
life.
man. That's Gleam's
I've never
problem.
met
I
one
understand
man
it, but you know,
that's a globe model.
you still think
that
these
does
guys
shit.
can be taught. Guys like Damon will not.
No, I
know
don't.
about it.
More
I'm
people.
sorry, I thought you did.
No, I don't think they can be
Can
taught.
you listen
The
to
only
DMOC,
reason-
please?
The only
DMOC's
people that can
asking
be
you a
taught
question
are
and you're
people
just
that are
more
listening.
concentrating on people again.
We understand their model better than they do, and we're trying
you
to
don't.
explain to them the
You don't
flaws, and they don't
understand
understand.
We understand why they do it too.
To break down your model, we have to
I
understand it
don't
thoroughly.
understand why you need to lie, Bob, and say that it's my model and my map when I blatantly made it clear that it wasn't.
So where is your model in your map? You don't have
I haven't
one,
got
do you?
one. I
Of
blatantly
course
made
you
it
don't.
clear.
So you don't
Yeah.
have anything to talk about.
What would you
Yes,
like
I
a
do.
model for, Bob?
Don't have a model.
What the
Yes,
hell
I
do you
do.
have, Barry?
What
When you ask a question, where is a flat Earth map and a model, and I supply one to you?
Keep it on.
Yeah,
Keep it down in reality. Keep it on Earth and tell me what you want modeled.
Why does that mean that you need to lie about it? Does it not make it a globe if you don't lie about it? Or do you have to lie
It doesn't
about
have
it?
anything to do with the globe.
Do you
The
have to
fact
lie
is,
about
you
it, though?
presented me with a map. I took your map apart. You're done.
It's not my map. It's someone else's model and map.
You presented it when I asked you for it. That makes it
He
yours.
ain't took shit apart, Gleam.
No,
He ain't
you
took shit apart.
ain't done
dude.
nothing, Bob, at all.
You can't even wipe your
Destroyed you, pissed you off.
You gonna compare
You
it
have
to a
not at
globe
all.
and
All you've
see
done
it
is
doesn't
accredited
match a
me
globe, so it must be wrong.
for something else that you asked for that you couldn't research by yourself.
There is no flat Earth map. I made one, but that's the only flat Earth map I ever
Rick
came.
Pontiff made one, and I'll give it you.
What does an atlas look like to
It
you,
looks
Globe?
like a globe, by the way.
You're a lying scumbag, and you don't need to lie. If you really believe Earth is a globe.
Who's calling names now, Glee?
No, that's facts. That's facts. That's not. You want to start this personal attack? Let's go. I've got much more on both of you than you got on me.
Every book.
I don't care about you, Gleam.
Where's the Globe book
I
at?
wouldn't have anything
You
on
really
because
do,
I
or
don't
you would
care
not do
enough
videos
you.
about me, Bob. How many videos have I got on you, on my channel? 0. Because you don't mean anything to me, Bob. You're a lying scumbag.
Dude, I will literally wipe my atlas with you.
Brenda.
You probably earned me more views by sending everyone to my music, mate. You've earned me money, bro. So that's what I can't complain. But they are not. That's not my map. You're a lying scumbag. You're a politician. That's what you are.
Yeah, you know, I'm arguing with somebody that's got a 6th grade or a 6-year-old understanding of the world around him. That's no argument, man.
Right, they're smart as charcoal. We know. Hey.
You know, my cat thinks the Earth is flat. Are you as smart as my cat?
Why does your cat think the Earth is flat, Bob?
Sounds like your cat's smarter than you are.
think you can read your cat's
the
thoughts?
owner
That
here?
is the funniest thing.
I just want to ask him, it's the only way you can have a lunar eclipse.
My cat's
beach ball.
incapable of doing 3-dimensional thought and abstract thought like that. His
How do
world's
you
gonna
know?
be-
Why do you keep cutting off Enoch?
Does the cat talk to you, Bob? Does the cat talk to you? What's the cat say?
Bob, that is
Cat
amazing.
says more intelligent things than you do, Babs.
Hold on a minute. I just want conceding of
The ad hoc here comes the ad hoc champion of the world, Uncle Tom.
Hey guys, let's try
Well, I
not
do have
to
some
not to
questions
interrupt
for
each
Brian
other.
if
Just
he has a
try to not talk if you hear somebody else talking.
Let's
Please.
listen to Uncle Tom ad hominem. Tell us that we're liars and we're not honest. We're not honest.
Brandon,
Go
I've
on,
got a
Uncle
couple
Tom.
of questions for Brian if you have a moment.
That's the best time, though, man. It's like, well,
Hey
obviously,
Brian, it's amazing how when you in the flat earth chat, you
Luke,
a full blown flat earther, but when you at Jose's, you say, well, it could be a globe and it could be
I
a
say
globe.
it could
But
be
when you come
because I
over
keep an
here-
open mind. Hey, I
he's
got
bi.
a video of you lying through your
Gleam
teeth.
is bi,
But
man.
when you come
Anybody
over
want to
here,
hear the honesty of this man? Go to my channel, Flat Earth Test, and look at the video that I got about this man's honesty. If you
but
want
when
to
you
come
come
and
over,
talk about
when you come
honesty.
over to Brandon, you a full blown
Beach
flat
ball
earther.
cover.
But when you
Your
over at
mic's
Jose's,
really
you say
low.
it could be a globe. But when
I don't know
over
who
there,
you
you a
are,
full-blown
the
flat
green
earther.
icon, but your
Hey
mic's really
Brandon,
low.
why you got me blocked in your chat, Brandon? I ain't said nothing that flat earthers haven't said.
The fuck are you talking? I didn't even know you were blocked, to be honest.
Yes, sir. I'm blocking your chat, man.
Ask the beach ball globe or something
In
real quick.
YouTube?
Yeah, on you, in the chat on YouTube. Yeah, I'm blocked in there. It might not have been you.
I'll
But somebody
unblock you.
blocked me.
I'll
It's
unblock you.
probably Bob.
appreciate it.
It's probably
I
Bob, no
appreciate it.
doubt.
Hey,
That's
but
all.
Brian, I really just want to say that to you, man. Like when you come
Yeah, go
over here,
ahead.
you a full blown flat earther. But when you in
Am I?
Jose, when you in Jose, you be talking like, well, it could be a globe. I don't know. I just want to know the truth.
Yeah, couldn't it
Then
be? Couldn't it be flat? Wait, couldn't
No.
it be flat?
No.
No, it can't be flat.
See, that's dishonesty.
No, it's not.
Just saying you know 100% what it is.
Yeah.
in my
Yeah,
opinion,
I know 100%.
it's dishonesty. But I got a better example of you being
know why?
dishonest on my
You know
channel.
100%
Anybody
the
cares?
science never
wants
proves
to-
anything. You know why I know it's 100%? Because we have satellites.
Because you're not honest. That's why.
But we have satellites, Brian.
You military fucking.
You don't have satellites,
You deny
bro.
the ISS?
Khalif,
You deny the ISS, Brian?
Khalif,
Brian,
you don't have the ISS. You don't have the
on this
satellite,
channel.
man.
Brian,
I've live
you deny
streamed
the ISS,
satellites
Brian?
on this channel, Brian. Don't tell us we don't have satellites.
So,
you have a satellite?
Globe because you
Bob,
saw
I've live streamed images of the satellites in flight on this channel.
Well, guess what? 10
Don't
minutes
tell me
ago.
that we don't have satellites.
Okay, fair enough. Brandon just showed your satellites, what y'all have 10 minutes ago, and he shows them. They're falling into clouds with balloons popping out from the end of them.
Listen, Brian, what about the ISS? What about the ISS? There's no balloons on the ISS.
There's something coming out of the back of them.
Hey, Brandon, you
it was fake when you did it. Now it's fake even more.
Bumblebees are flying shit.
Shut up, Shield. There are no clouds. There are
When
no
does a
clouds.
flying bird mean a globe, boys?
There are no clouds.
Yeah, so like I
at
said, we have
350
satellites. All of
You see a
y'all,
bird flying, that means
everybody on
globe.
this,
Oh,
everybody
I
in
see a
here
bird
have seen.
fly. Look, Bob, we're on a globe.
Everybody in here have seen the International
What
Space
the
Station.
fuck?
We have
If
satellites.
we see
We know
butterflies
for
fly
a
too.
fact.
That means globe too. I'm just wondering if everything we see fly past our head. What if I
Okay,
throw a rock?
Boomer. Okay, Boomer.
So if I
You've had
hit
your
you,
turn, Boomer. You've had your turn.
Couldn't let him
Just
finish,
sit
could
down
you?
for a while.
The ISS rock hits you in the head.
You
That's
gotta
a globe.
understand, he's not a boomer, right?
Horizon, a whole street.
I know,
question
but
about
it bothers him, so I use it. That's why.
I think it's
No,
funny. dude.
I'm a boomer. If you
Khalif.
want to call anybody a boomer, call me a boomer, okay?
Well, so am I,
Khalif,
Bob.
if we lock him in-
I'm a boomer too. Yes, I
I'll blow
understand.
the fuck out of you.
But he
I'll
doesn't
knock your
know
head
what
off
it
the
means.
building.
He doesn't know what it means, and it
fruity
digs at
boomer.
him.
It means I'll knock your fucking teeth
Well,
down
they've
your
got their
throat.
little group here.
Look, listen to
here's
the flat
Glee.
earther. Listen to the
Yeah, I
flat
mean,
earther with no
he doesn't
evidence.
Hey,
even
J-Mac,
have
that's the way
to.
that's the way you settle things. I know fisticuffs. I
Yeah.
got you.
Why
Listen to
did
the
you
flat
mention
earther
my
with no
name? Am
evidence.
I
They got a
scarring
satellite.
you
Got
or
a
what?
ball
I'm
out.
sorry. It's just I confuse all these idiots.
No, you
I
just
just wanna
really,
know
really,
if
really
these
scarred
blowers-
by me.
Hey,
I'm
flat
not
earthers.
disturbed.
Hey,
I'm
flat
disturbed
earthers.
by you that you're so
Yeah,
stupid.
some
but
people
that's
Hey, flat
What do you
earthers.
want, Master
Hey,
Khalik?
flat earthers. Can we discuss
What
the
do you want,
ISS?
Master Khalik?
Can we get some order and try to figure this
Yeah,
thing
Brandon,
out?
can I have
Probably
myself?
not.
Brandon-
Probably
Brandon
not.
is
But
sure-
you do have a
Brandon is-
Man,
question?
y'all don't have no respect for Brandon. Y'all have
One
no
question,
respect.
Brandon.
That's true. Because he doesn't command respect.
Shut
They
up.
have no respect.
Sorry,
for
it's a
Brandon. This is
different.
Brandon's
If
show,
it's,
and
it's
he's
a different
asking
night,
a
you
question.
don't understand what Brandon's organised.
It's an open panel. It's Friday night
This is
fight.
the whole point of this night. The very limited moderation.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
You know how to
Okay, I
start
wanna
a
know if
stage?
Globers
Well,
concede
Brandon's
a
asking me
lunar
a
eclipse
question.
can only be
Hey,
done
flat
on
earthers.
a globe. Do you
Hey,
concede
flat
that,
earthers,
Globers?
are you
Is that
scared
your
to discuss
story?
the
A
ISS?
lunar
Flat
eclipse
earthers?
can only be done on a globe.
Hey,
Is
flat
that
You
earthers,
have to
are y'all
explain
scared?
it. How's it happen on the flat
Is
Earth?
that your
J-Mac? Come
story?
on.
It's only
Enlighten us,
possible on
J-Mac.
the globe.
Enlighten us,
Hello.
J-Mac. J-Mac, enlighten us. How does the lunar eclipse
It's a
happen on a globe?
question. Is the lunar eclipse possible on flat Earth?
I just
Motherfucker.
want to know what keeps the ISS above
Is
the
the lunar
ground on a flat Earth.
eclipse
If you would
possible
explain
on
it to
a
me,
flat
J-Mac,
Earth?
perhaps
Hold on,
J-Mac,
I'll
if you'd
answer.
explain it to us, perhaps we would change our
I'll
mind.
answer.
Okay
I'll
with
answer.
that.
J-Mac,
answer.
explain it to
Don't
us.
know how
How
the
does it
lunar
work?
eclipse works on a
Hold
globe?
on,
How
hold
does
on.
it work, J-Mac?
I'll answer.
On a
I'll answer.
globe, I couldn't tell you. Globes don't
I'll answer.
exist.
Tell me how it
I'll
works on the flat Earth, please.
Hold on, chill. Hold on.
Didn't you tell me the other day that the ISS was green screen? And didn't you tell me the guys were all on wires
Can
the
you
other
guys
day,
do me a
Bob?
favor and lay a little room for Dimmock to explain himself?
As productive as this is, I'll reply. Is that fine? Is that cool? Is that what
You
you're
were
looking for?
all flat earthers until you get a fucking globe model in a lab working, retard.
All right. So here we go. So Democ, on a flat Earth, can we have a lunar eclipse? No, unless you can explain how we
Bullshit.
could. My answer
You
would
don't
be
even
no.
need an Earth for a fucking eclipse, stupid fucker. You don't need 3 balls. You only need 2. Sun, moon.
I know, but how does a lunar eclipse?
Listen,
occur?
you just said it's not
We only have
possible
those two
on flat
things.
Earth. I said it's possible in the fucking middle of your fucking hallway, retard. No matter
Right,
what
right.
ground is underneath it. You only need
Right.
2 light sources. One
I know, but
great
you're not
light,
explaining.
I'm telling you right now.
You're
The
not
sun
explaining.
shines on the motherfucker, and when it shines on it, it's so bright it makes the face of the motherfucker dark. The same way.
It's so bright it's dark. Got it. That's
Yes,
lovely.
the same way that
Shut up,
same way
shit.
It's so bright
Well,
it's dark.
you're laughing and
Wow.
not listening, retard. You don't want to learn nothing, do you, dumb bitch?
Oh no, I learned it's so bright it's dark.
How did you learn to flow, bitch? By laughing and not listening? Or listening?
No,
Now,
bitch, you're not
retard.
laughing, but you are
So,
making us laugh, and it's
The sun
hilarious.
is bright as fuck. And the
so
moon
bright.
gets
Bright bright as fuck. Got it.
Charge from the sun like a glow in the dark ball.
Glow in the
So
dark
when the
ball.
moon
Got
gets
it.
closer, yes. So when the moon gets closer, it's just a charged object. It's not as bright.
Charged
As the
object.
sun.
Got it. Go.
Right, like a paper plate bright.
So now you're just making up stuff.
Plate in front of the sun, even
Are
though
you
it's
trying to
white.
explain to us about the new moon?
No, man, the moon's hitting the spot.
Two objects, no Earth needed. Now, same for the sun and moon with the lunar eclipse.
So how
Same
did you
fucking
see it?
thing. The sun distance, the light gets closer
How
and
does it
further.
happen? So
Makes
something
it-
happens. Something happens over.
If you would shut up, he will tell you.
Happens over a couple of happens over a couple of hours. Right.
Because
Got it. And it
Hold on, the
happens
moon's hitting
differently.
the eclipse happens at perihelion. The eclipse
You
happens
You guys
at
want to hear the
perihelion.
rest of his
The
explanation or
nodal
what?
spot that the moon's going into, where it's not receiving the sun's light. There's a
Little kids can do
lunar
this.
eclipse, and it sounds like
Too
you're
bad
talking
you
about
guys
a
can't
solar eclipse.
reproduce a lunar eclipse with 3 balls.
Demok, I showed you too. I'll get them again. I'll get them
Remy,
for you.
well low.
But I have.
You need to use the sun as your light source.
Are you trying to
and
explain
two
a lunar
objects in your
eclipse or a
backyard.
solar eclipse? Think about your answer.
We're still waiting on your diagram.
Either one, you don't need a globe.
He thinks
Either
he's
one.
explaining a lunar eclipse right now, but no.
Hold
you
on,
don't
dude.
need
We're
to.
waiting on the
Right.
global to give a diagram. Rumpus tried to give a diagram of the selenelium, and he tried to diagram it mathematically, and he couldn't. So we're still waiting on
can't even explain the normal eclipse.
So it's how a lunar eclipse works.
Fucktard.
I absolutely
Your fucking
can.
numbers
You
ain't
really
doing
gotta
shit,
stop
retard.
sprinkling bath salts on your cereal.
What are you fucking retarded? Alphabet soup ain't gonna help you with a lunar eclipse, you dumb son of a bitch. Neither is number soup. Where the fuck did you get
talking
calculating
about a lunar
calculators instead of
eclipse, and you're
calculating
saying the
eclipse
lunar
for me?
eclipse doesn't require the Earth at all.
Explain eclipse.
It doesn't
how it
at all.
happens.
Why would two
explain
lights
that?
happen for the Earth?
Well,
Do you even know what an
so
eclipse is?
You're smoking
No,
something.
he doesn't
No, he
know what it
doesn't, Bob. That's obvious.
I bet he
I'm
doesn't.
sorry.
The only
Kind of a definition, you know?
thing we know for sure is that
He's
it's
trying to
not the
explain
Earth
that
blocking
what
the
happens
light.
over a month happens in a couple
Hold
of
on,
hours.
Cal. The only thing we know for sure is that it's not the Earth blocking the light. That's the only thing we know
We
for
know
sure.
that
You don't-
for sure because it can't be that. Yeah.
You know that
It's
for
not
sure.
gonna be
though,
anything
right?
else. Anything else
So
would
you
be
can
something out of our
demonstrate-
fucking asses, but it's not the Earth. Oh fuck no.
So you can demonstrate until you can demonstrate a light above a ball and then the eclipsed object above the ball and show how that could work.
Oh, shut up
then
with
it's
your
not the Earth.
eclipse.
Easily. Hey, did you guys see my series on Ranty
Source of light.
and his look inside the flat Earth? This is pretty
lunar
typical of them.
eclipse with two
They don't
balls,
believe in the
gotta
flat
use
Earth.
two
They just
balls.
want to be in the group and
you
they
got-
want to argue. Why are we giving them
You
oxygen?
need a 10-foot ball for the Earth and a 3-foot ball for your fucking moon. Go in your backyard, use the sun for your light, bitch, and show us your fucking lunar eclipse.
Demok, the thing about that is that you don't get to dictate it. As long as it's to scale, it'd be fine
I
for a
did,
demonstration.
I just gave you the scale, bitch. The
You
real
don't have
sun.
you don't have to.
10-inch
I can
beach
use
ball and
I can use
Just told you how to do it. Just told you how to
can
do it.
use-
You won't do it because it won't work.
Hold on. Really fucking quick point. I just posted a demonstration in the chat.
Hey,
A video
the
demonstration.
scale means using the real sun, doesn't it, dumb bitch?
The
How
proper
else you want to get a scale sun other than using the real
There
sun,
we
you
go.
fucking retard?
Here we go.
And
Retard
you thought
motherfucker.
you were going to be able to reason
Hey,
with
we're
them.
gonna get a scale
I thought
sun by
I
using
thought
the
that I was
sun
going
in
to
our,
talk
in
to
our
an
house.
adult. I thought I was talking to
Listen,
an adult. That's my mistake,
The
Demok.
sun
Continue.
is where it's at, right? So you use the sun. It is what it is. It's to scale for what it is. It's the distance you are away from it, right? So you use the sun, you fucking retard. I thought I was talking to an adult.
So we
So
don't
you get
scale
a
the
3-foot
sun, but we
beach
scale
ball
the Earth and Moon. You're
to
right.
your
That's how
Earth.
science works. You're right.
You get a 2-foot beach ball to represent your moon. That's all you need to
Yeah,
worry
we
about.
scale down the Earth and we scale down
between
Moon,
the
but we
two.
don't scale the sun. We
All you
don't
need is
scale
the
the
distance
sun,
between
but we
the two.
scale everything else. You're right. You're right,
Sun
Demok.
either way.
You're doing great, Demok. Keep it up.
Yeah, so much for your globe model you don't have.
I know I provided a demonstration, but you say nuh-uh and hand wave it and won't even look at it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
right.
ahead, continue. You're doing great.
What do you got? A little bitty ball and a fucking little thing that's like 1 inch away from itself? You fucking idiotic fuck.
Yeah, I know, because I understand how
Yeah,
scale works
that
and you
makes a
don't,
lot of
so
sense,
I'm an
dumbass.
idiot. You're right. Thanks.
Is that
Thanks
the
for that.
scale, you fucking retard?
I'm finding another one with calculations to scale.
Is that
But
the,
that, but
you
the
don't even,
initial one is
apparently,
good.
you fucking retard, you already had one to scale. Now you're finding calculations. Wouldn't you
Right.
have to just repeat
How
the
do
one
you,
that's
how do
scale
you
already?
scale? Hey, Demok, how do you scale things? Do you use calculations?
Oh, you just repeat the retard you had to draw.
Fuck, Demok, we got to use
You
math
just
to
fucking
scale
said
things.
you made one to
Fuck.
scale, you stupid ass motherfucker.
Fuck. We're going to scale and use math to do it? Oh, I
You
didn't see that coming.
Math's not going to show you how light's working, you dumbass motherfucker.
Math is going to tell me how to scale things down.
Math
Tell me I'm
is
wrong.
not
Tell
going
me
to
I'm
show
wrong.
you what's
Tell me I'm
happening
wrong.
with three
Tell me I'm
balls
wrong.
and a
Tell
fucking
me I'm
light.
wrong.
Let him use your scale and show us an orbit. Demonstrate an orbit.
Oh, so we're going to get off
The
subject
International
of
Space Station is in
No,
orbit.
we're
You've
getting
seen
off the
it.
subject because you won't show me a selenium. You won't show me a selenium. Show me the shadow coming down from the top.
All
Yeah,
you
Brian.
want
Hey
is
Brian,
the globe.
have you ever seen Jupiter's moons going around it?
Have
That's
you
orbit.
ever fucking made
Yeah,
a Jupiter moon?
I've seen its moons. I've seen its dots. Three of them.
Okay, that's orbit, Brian. That's what you asked
There's a
for.
dot.
Orbit.
There's dots going back and
That's the
forth.
orbit.
Make us one in the
Does
lab.
that mean that Earth is one of them dots?
You can't make an orbit in the lab.
Make one in the lab, you dumb bitch.
Why not?
Man,
Magnetism, use whatever you want. Just show it. We can show an orbit.
Hey Brian,
quantum laws.
Brian,
this
pay
already,
attention,
Brian.
pay attention to what I just said. The moons of Jupiter's in orbit. You've seen it. That's in orbit.
No, we ain't seen
No,
nothing.
prove it. Earth is one of them dots up there.
Listen,
The
when
moons
we
of
go to
Jupiter.
class,
Little
Brian, no, Brian, you asked us to show you
put
an
it in
orbit.
my front house and in my house.
Why
in
can't
my
this guy
front room.
shut his damn
If
mouth?
you do it in my front room, then I'll
Why
see
you
it, dumb
can't shut
bitch.
your mouth, man?
How come you ain't
Brian.
shut your mouth, you fucking dumb cunt?
Hey,
Shut
all right,
your
that's cool.
fucking
Hey,
mouth,
Brian,
retard.
Brian,
We want to hear your dumb
Brian,
ass
let's
stories.
deal with this.
We're ready for
You've seen
demonstration.
Jupiter and you've seen the
Yeah,
moons go
Cleve,
around.
you can't prove that's an orbit, bro. You cannot prove that them dots are orbiting and they're just like
Brian, you can see them
Show me a
orbit. You can
demonstration
see
here on
them
Earth.
orbit, Brian. You can prove it to yourself.
In your front room, live. Let's do it.
But Brandon, I have to say,
I'm not even going to address that
wonderful
stupid shit.
display of
Hey,
scientific
prove that
knowledge.
they're orbiting, man.
This is
Hold
very
on.
Brian.
What's that bio do?
Orbit.
We can do it ourselves.
Hey, Brian,
I said
You've
this is
seen
a
the moon.
fantastic. This is a
Look at
fantastic
Jupiter
production
and
of
watch
science.
the moons
in,
go
honest.
around.
We can do it live. We can
Yeah.
get a globe. We can
I think
pour
we
water
have
on it.
every
We can
single
make tide.
person on this panel tonight who likes to talk.
Yeah,
Every
it-
single person.
Yeah, it's the best people. It is the best people.
Let me
Brian.
read this.
So Brian,
no,
like I said,
it's fine,
you can
but
look at Jupiter.
we're very often talking over each other, and probably no one can hear anything. But James Mays, $20. Hello to the panel, Brandon. I support you, brother. Thanks, James. Appreciate that, man. And I think there was one more that I didn't read. Aaron Armstrong with his usual positive feedback. $5. Congratulations on wrecking a perfectly good debate channel, Brandon. You must be so proud of what it achieves now.
That
Thank
must
you,
be a
Aaron.
glober.
Yeah,
That must be a beachball earther.
I believe so.
Isn't that
Silent
funny?
Zero, good show, Brandon. They keep DV. Oh, I already read that one. Go ahead.
Oh, you little cue ball earthers.
Okay, Brian. Okay, Brian. You can look at Jupiter and see the moons go around it. If that's not an orbit,
your
can you
front
tell me
room?
what's going? Can I
Is it in
finish
your
my
front room?
Brian? Let me
Please.
finish my statement.
Is it in
Let's
your
just-
front room?
Just
If
let
it's
me
not in
finish
your
the
front
statement.
room, you prove it, buddy.
All right,
Hold
just
on,
let me
dude. Hold on.
just
Hold
let
on,
me
hold on.
Guys,
You're starting in La La
guys,
Land.
guys,
You're
honestly.
starting with the premise I'm asking you to prove, bro.
hold on. Just let me finish the statement.
You're
see the
starting
moons-
with the premise I'm asking you to prove, dude. Go ahead.
I'm not saying it is orbit, Brian. If you let me finish what I'm saying, you'll get it. I'm saying when you see the moons go around Jupiter, if that's not an orbit, can you explain to us what that is?
That's not a moon.
All I see are dots. All I see are little dots moving side to side.
Now I just asked you to explain what's going on, Brian.
Dog shit,
Blinking in and out. That's all I see, okay? You
Okay,
can't
why
prove they're
are
orbiting,
those
man.
little dots? Why are those little dots going around that big circle?
Dude, you don't know what them little dots are, bro. You're
That's
starting
why
off
I'm
with
asking
La La
you.
Land.
That's why I'm asking.
That's what I'm asking you to prove, dude.
Leaky. Well, why don't you just stick to pointing concrete and just stay the heck out of
Demonstrate.
physics?
Won't you stick to eating jelly donuts, you fat ass?
On your
Dude,
front row.
Payne's a fat ass who sits behind his computer screen, bro, and eats jelly donuts.
Why don't you just stick with the pointing concrete? Damn it, just playing
Hey,
basketball.
show us a picture of the backside of you. Hey, you gotta dox yourself.
Please stop talking over each other. I mean,
How
to a
close
certain
does the
extent.
moon-
Fuck, man. Come on.
How close does the moon have to be in front of the sun to block it out completely and cause a halo?
Who the hell knows?
Are you saying how much does it have to be to not block it completely, but to cause for you to see the edges and stuff?
Yeah, it'd have to be pretty big and pretty close up, wouldn't it, to block out the sun?
It has to be big. It has to be close to make a fucking rainbow around itself in our atmosphere. It has to be pretty damn close to do that, to have a reaction right directly from our atmosphere to around the moon. Come on now. You don't get an effect from a fucking optical illusion of a fucking thing doing something that's actually the thing doing it. You know, it'd be a hologram. It'd be all see-through. So the moon has to be in our atmosphere and close as fuck, creating a fucking rainbow around itself in the atmosphere. That's where rainbows happen, in the atmosphere.
Yeah, but it's not physically around the moon. That's an optical
Yes,
thing
it
that's
fucking
seen from
is.
your position.
No, it's not. It's physically around the moon, son.
No, if you were on one side of it and I was on another side of it, and we were both seeing the same moon and the same effect,
You wouldn't see the same reflection.
It would be unique
You wouldn't see
from
the
each
same light I
position.
saw. You wouldn't
All
see
right,
the same reflection.
my closing arguments is this.
Just because
Brian,
you're on another side,
Brian,
listen, just because we're looking at the
Brian,
same object
my
doesn't mean
closing
our
arguments is this,
orientation's
real
the same
quick.
or our
Brian,
vision at all.
I want you to study why are those dots going around Jupiter? And I want to hear your explanation of why those dots are going around Jupiter. If it's not in orbit, you need to explain it. Good night.
Quick, jump in your spacecraft and go and have a look.
I say you prove that what you're pointing at is the size of Earth anyway. We don't know nothing about them things. I'm not going to try and claim anything on something that we can't prove. Y'all want shit modeled? Tell us shit down here at Earth. Tell us what you want modeled. Quit saying we don't have nothing modeled. Okay? Don't point to La La Land and ask for modeling because none of that shit's proven.
The moon and sun are right.
Use your imagination, Brian.
They're the same size, they're the same elevation, and they're right above the fucking gas they reside on.
Yep, despite one getting in front of the other, but that's something we just don't think about when we make claims, right?
Well, we damn sure can't spot that. You don't see the moon going in front of the sun. You claim it, but you can't demonstrate it.
It'd be this easy. It'd be this easy.
I saw the 2 years ago go directly in front of the sun. What are you talking about?
Me too.
Oh shit, Debunking and Brian disagree.
Yeah,
shadow. Yeah, I stood in the shadow for 2 minutes. It was pretty cool. You should try it sometime.
Listen, I sat and watched it with my
Close and
eyeballs.
personal to the sun, apparently
Listen, I
93
watched the
million
fucking
miles
moon
away to block
personally.
the whole complete sunlight.
Because they're the same size, crazy motherfuckers. What don't you talk about that?
But not all the time. Not all
Shadow,
the time.
They're the same fucking size. Just because the atmosphere reflects in a different fucking size, like a magnifying glass, doesn't make them not the same fucking size, dude.
That has nothing to do with the atmosphere.
Trigonometry doesn't work, does it?
Fucking sunset. It's being magnified by the fuck.
No, even on a sunset. We're talking about eclipse, not a sunset. Stay on topic. Stay on top, dumbass.
Are you fucking retarded right now?
Oh, you are. Because you immediately switched from
You tell me light
eclipse.
doesn't widen from the source. Now you're telling me an atmosphere doesn't fucking make something magnify. Are
Has
you
nothing to do with an eclipse, you
You know what
fucktard.
a fucking Fresnel lens is, dumb
Has
fuck?
nothing to do with Fresnel lens. Oh, show me the Fresnel lens, you moron.
You
Oh, now you
stupid
get into the
ass
Fresnel
motherfucker.
lens.
Light and air have to do with light and air, bitch. What are you, retarded?
The Fresnel lens? Yeah, where's the Fresnel lens in the sky there?
Dude.
I'd like to see that Fresnel lens, please.
It's the fucking moon going in front of the sun. Fuck what you guys say. I watch
Exactly.
it with my own fucking
I watched
eyes.
it too. So you recognize that the moon going in front of the sun. Thank you.
Dumb bitch, an imaginary fucking Rahu. Is that what you think it is, you dumb fuck?
No, it's what you think it is, obviously.
Well, we have seen pictures of a moon next to an eclipse sun, so I
You've never seen pictures of a moon next to an eclipse, you
A
idiot.
moon and a sun, bitch. There is no other object.
Let me say this: there's no rock going in front of the sun.
Yeah, it's called the moon.
The fucking moon, you
Yeah, it is.
retarded motherfucker.
It looks like a rock, and it's slitting like a rock.
It's called the
It
moon. We
look,
have a
dude, if you've ever looked at an eclipse, it looks like a fucking eerie void, and fucking it looks just like when I'm did the eclipse, I use a laser. Hold on, let me see what I'm trying to say. I set up a laser. Hold on.
Damn,
I set up
guys,
a
come
laser
on.
like about a quarter mile away. Did a mock-up size of the moon and a laser like about an eighth of a mile away, and to try to mimic the sun in scale, and it looked the same exact way. It looked like an eerie void. And it
They're
was a
exactly
flat.
the same size.
It's getting charged up.
They're the same elevation, the same fucking size. I don't know how high. I don't know what size, of course. I can't claim that, of course. But I can tell you I
Wait,
know how.
well, if it was a rock, wouldn't you see a rock moving in front of the fucking sun, dude?
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying. It's not a big giant rock
Tell me
moving in
that
front
a
of the
light
sun.
is not a shadow? Are you that retarded too to tell me that, bitch?
I tell you this, it's
anyway,
not a big
above
giant
a
rock
flat
moving in front of the
plane-
sun, because I can
I
show
gotta-
you a big rock moving in front of the sun, and that ain't it, bud.
Let me ask a
If
question.
the light causes darkness and causes a shadow,
Let me
and the
ask a
light
question.
is a shadow, what the fuck are you telling me that I don't know?
Let me ask a question.
What's the point of the
What is it
profanity?
about the eclipses that
explained the fucking
supposedly?
solar
Hold on,
system and
D-Mock.
started
Hold on, man.
running from
What is it about the eclipses that supposedly falsify flat planes?
Because it doesn't falsify a flat plane at all.
I'm not,
The
not
Globers-
asking you. I'm asking the Globers who
I'm
bring
not
this
sure.
up all the time.
I'm not sure that.
The lunar eclipse.
The one. Yeah, go ahead.
I
But-
can
You're
answer
good.
that.
You'll be better at this, Kosha. Go ahead.
It's the lunar eclipse they say
That's I was
falsifies
gonna
planets,
bring.
Brandon.
I was gonna say the same thing that the lunar eclipse more I think more so than the solar eclipse, because the lunar eclipse involves the Earth.
The Earth
being
in the way.
object that's blocking the.
And you
yeah,
don't need
blocking
that.
the sun.
Wait,
But
so
we
can I
don't
take
take
a
the moon
Kosha?
rise
Can I
in
take
front
a
of the
small
sun?
rock and make it eclipse the sun right in front of my face? But when I see the rock moving in front of the sun, you say the
You
moon's
see
a rock.
nothing.
You say that the moon's a
you
scaled
fucking-
rock,
you
the same size
can
as the sun. Why
put
can't we use a different scale and
You can put
demonstrate the same
anything.
thing, right?
What's your
If you
fucking point?
point, if you pointed a giant. Okay, if you pointed a giant spotlight at somebody at nighttime, a giant spotlight, and then you had a car go in front of that spotlight from perpendicular to the direction of the light, the person is not necessarily going to see that car at all, and is only ever going to see the
a silhouette.
The light.
You'll see a silhouette,
Yeah,
won't
the
you?
silhouette of the car, and he's not going to see. He's not going to see the car
spotlight.
before it gets towards the
Now
light.
you're getting it.
Exactly, and to block the sun, something's got to be right up and close.
Light is
Yeah, but
making it fucking look like it's invisible. When it gets close enough, then you see it. At a certain distance, you also see it. I saw the silhouette of it. I saw the fucking moon. I saw the motherfucker. And then at a certain point, I didn't. Then all of a
Dude,
sudden,
shut the fuck up. You see a rock move in front of the fucking sun, dude?
So let me ask another question. What makes more sense?
You don't need the bad language. My
Hold on.
intelligence. I never said shit about a rock,
Hold
you
on.
dumb whore.
What makes more sense? That
You
this,
dumbass
we have
fucking
these
homo.
two objects that appear exactly the same size, but one's
Was that Coach Joe?
400 times further than the other one, and they just so happen to line up perfectly every so often, or that
Well, it's
there's
not
something
perfect,
else
let's be honest.
nearer that moves in the relationship to each other that are the same size. Which one
go for
do
that
you think
one.
is more
Well,
likely?
you just said it fucking exactly correct 100%, and I back it with my life.
If the sun and the moon were the same size, we wouldn't have the effect that we have. It's particularly because they are different sizes.
But
Because
if
one,
Hold on,
we just talked
let
so
Biodule answer.
we just talked so much about Rancy's picture about things that are farther away are going to be smaller, even though they are bigger in reality next to each other. So if they appear the same size, but one is farther away than the other, they're not the same size.
No,
This is
they
how
are the same size. It would not block the sun's light if they were not the same size. It blocks the light completely.
In that
So how
same
do you explain that?
in that same regard, if you stand in front of a camera and there's mountains 100 miles away, you're going to block
let's
those
get back to
mountains.
what we
Are
see.
you the
Let's
same?
get
Are
back.
you the
No,
same?
no,
Are
we're
you
just
the same
not
size
going
as the
into
mountains?
another scenario. We're doing
Is the
what
mountain
we
casting
physically
light?
see.
Right.
all
If the mountains are
physically see
casting
this.
light, if the mountains are casting light,
No,
and you guys-
we're not talking about mountains. We're
fucking God.
talking about the fact
we
that
can't move on to the big if you
a
can't understand
sun
the
No,
simple.
use the
block
sun, bro. Use the sun in your
completely.
demonstration, bro.
It's light going. What is that? And it has to be, because we all know what happens with flashlights. We know what happens. Nobody's explaining how come that eclipse is blocking the sunlight completely. It's got to be up close to it.
It doesn't have to be. If a light source is far away and you have a small object, you can still block the path of that light reaching wherever your observer is. That's why I brought
We've
up the
done enough
camera.
tests to show
That's why I
that
brought
does
the
not
camera.
happen with light.
Okay. It's a very simple analogy, and I'm going to use mountains. I can give a fuck if you like it or not.
No. I don't see mountains. I see a
I don't
sun
care.
being
Okay, then
blocked
I'm talking to everyone else.
by
I'm talking to everyone
something.
else then. Okay, I'm talking to everyone else then. I don't care.
Well, you're you're trying to move
Yeah,
the
just
conversation
honest, man.
Tell
somewhere
me how
else.
I'm wrong.
You're not
Tell me how
forthcoming,
I'm
bro.
You're
wrong.
trying to put
Tell me how I'm
imagination and
wrong
imagine
afterwards.
this.
Tell me how I'm wrong afterwards, okay?
You
And I'm not
can't,
talking to you, so I
because
could
you
give
haven't
a
got
fuck.
an answer, have you? You
If you
haven't
know
got an
it,
answer.
you know the
You haven't
conclusion.
got
That's
an
why you don't
answer.
want me to say it.
You want to use your trigonometry
me
to make me
not
say that my eyes are not seeing what I see.
prevent me
It
from
doesn't
saying it
work.
because you know the
We're in
conclusion. So I'm going to
reality. We
continue.
live in
I'm going to continue.
reality.
So
No, because you're
if the
talking
mountains,
bullshit.
if the mountains, okay, you'll call it bullshit afterwards. So I'm talking to everyone else. Fuck you. So if the mountains are casting light directly, if the mountains are casting light directly to you, and you as a small human being relative to the mountain steps in front of the camera gets 0 of that light from the mountain. You, being a small human being, are fucking 1,000th of the size of that mountain. But because
Bro, when the
you're
sun is
closer to
approaching
the
that mountain,
camera,
we see the mountain, dude.
Come on, Brian. He was
Okay,
almost done.
and while we're looking
Just
at that
let him fucking
mountain,
finish.
something.
I mean that's pretty much it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I thought he was done. I thought yes. I was going to ask him that when you see the sun going to get behind the mountain, don't you see the mountain?
Okay, but that's a separate analogy and separate description
That's
of what
just a
we're
different
talking
scale.
about.
No, you're trying to use different light, bro.
What I'm saying is, if there is a light source, no matter how big it is, and then something is going to get in the way of it, doesn't matter how big it is, it'll depend on how big it is, but also the distance from that light source as well as the observer, and it will change its apparent angular size. All it cares about is the angular size compared to the angular size of the light source. That's all that matters.
Fine,
So
fine,
size
bro, but
and
your story's
distance.
crushed.
That's it.
Fine,
Doesn't have to
I'll
be the
give you
same
that,
size.
but your story's crushed because I could scale it a different way and take a big cinder block and move it in front of the sun where it is the same size, and you'll see the cinder block approaching, blocking, and leaving the sun. We don't see the moon.
Is the cinder block the size of the sun? No.
Yes, you're just detailing occultation. That's all.
Right. It doesn't have to be the same size. It doesn't have to be anything. It could be a tiny little object, but if it's right the fuck in front of your face, it's gonna block
Bro,
it.
you're not gonna sneak a fucking moon in front of the sun and me not see it, bro.
And west, it goes dark, so that's rubbish.
What his story is, he's gonna sneak the moon in front of the sun to eclipse us, and then sneak away. Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Hey, remember I posted a demonstration to scale in the chat where they use the same scale of a ball for a moon and a ball for Earth, and they do the same effect. So the demonstration is there. I could give a fuck about
do you
your
see the ball?
incredulity.
Yeah, Brian, earlier you agreed.
Is it a sneaky ball?
I'm not sure what the ball is.
That's
But you agreed
talking.
You agreed earlier when you said if you had a spotlight, pointed at somebody at nighttime, you agreed that if a car crosses the spotlight, they're not going to see the car before or after it's not intersecting that light. They're only going to see it as it's intersecting that
I
light.
object. We have a perfectly good sun to do the demonstration.
Is that Kosho
So
talking?
all we're
That's
doing
Kosho,
is
right?
changing the scale, right? You're using scale to say the moon's the same size. I'm just bringing it a little closer and saying that I'm using scale to make the cinder block the same size, okay? But we see the cinder block approaching and leaving. And we'd see anything going in front of the sun, we'd see it approach and we'd see it leave, period.
Because the moon's nearer, apparently, isn't it? So the sun would reflect light onto it, so we would see
The heliocentric model's got a sneaky moon.
It's 'cause the cinder block's in the atmosphere, so the way the light enters the
So is
atmosphere
the moon.
It's gonna bounce off a bunch of shit. So it's not the same thing as
The moon is not
being
in
a
the
direct
atmosphere, you idiot.
The only light source that you have when we're talking about space and we're talking about moon, sun, Earth, the only light source is going to be the sun. So if you're seeing the dark side and the sun can't, I guess for lack of a better term, transmit. It can't transmit the light from the sun to that dark side.
Wait, we see the
There
fucking
is no light.
ISS.
We see
There
the
is
moon
no.
in the...
Holy shit, man.
We
It's
see
the
the
most
ISS
basic point.
transiting the sun, don't we?
Basic of
Why
points.
are
The
you
most
making
basic
so
of
much
points
assumptions?
interrupted by.
Why are you making
Does
so
the
much
moon flip
assumptions about
round?
what light what?
Does it flip round just before the eclipse and then flip back out again so we can still see it?
What are you talking about? The light is being shown on the other side. The light, the
We
dark
have
side that
sun
we're
and moon
seeing.
in the sky at the same time, all the time.
Okay, but
So
when
when
one
she
is in front
flips
of
to
the other,
dark side,
if your only light source is
oh
being
my
blocked
life.
by a thing, you won't be able to see that dark side or any details because there is no light bouncing off of it to show you the details. Holy fuck, man.
Yeah, hey, we do
a lot of assumptions there.
That's funny.
in Earthshine, we see the details of the moon.
I think they've all been hypnotized.
How can you say that? By
I don't know why. I don't know why they're making so much assumptions. They just base assumptions and say it's true.
What's wrong with what
That's all
I said?
they're
If your only light source cannot is not reflecting off of one side of it, can you see the details of that side if there's no light bouncing off of it?
Yes, you can.
Beautiful.
You're an artist.
Because
Say that you're a fucking
to
artist?
see details.
Yes, and you can see details during the solar eclipse. Details of the moon.
No. Not on the side that's facing.
Yes. Earthshine. Oh my
Albedo,
God.
I was going to say exactly that. Albedo. Come on, NASA. You know nothing, mate.
See different things. To see the surface, you need light bouncing off of it.
Oh, the simplest of things.
Yeah, but they just said Earthshine. Do we have a photo of this?
Yes. Everyone go look it up. It's everywhere.
What should I search for?
Just Earthshine. I mean, you can
eclipse,
see it
though.
even, during the
you
eclipse.
see a black hole looking thing. You don't see no distinguishing moon features.
Yeah,
I don't even know if it's real. I have to see it again, man. It looks suspect to me when they showed me.
Which one of these
do you
are
guys
real
believe me
pictures
that-
and which ones are fucking fake?
Well, you could look at the like crescent moon, and there's a lot more pictures of Earthshine with those pictures. But
Now,
the
I've seen
biggest
that.
coincidence-
Talking about the
the
eclipse,
biggest, that happens. The biggest coincidence is the fact that the solar eclipse occurs precisely at the same time that the new moon phase is occurring. The new moon phase, you can't see the moon.
ain't necessarily
And
right there in
this
front of it,
this
man.
happens without fail every single time. So what kind of coincidence is that, right? That it happens at the same time the new moon phase.
Listen, you can't scale the moon when it's not there past new moon stage, or you'd be able to put something in front of there, and I mean you'd be able to predict like what would be blocked behind it. You don't know exactly where it's at just because it's in the vicinity. It might even cause it. It might even cause it, but you can't say with 100% certainty what it is. You know,
Brian, are
It's
you saying
almost
that
as
you
if it
don't
was
think the
created that
moon
way.
is blocking the sun during a lunar eclipse? Is that what your position is?
I'm saying they can't prove that the moon is a rock, okay, that is going in front of the sun and then blocking it and then leaving away without us even seeing it. They can't prove that it's that distant. They can't prove any of that stuff.
They can prove it
mathematically, maybe, but they can't prove it beyond a shot. You know what I'm saying?
It's a fucking rock. What kind of rock would it be, son? We got millions of
You practically
a crack rock, you dumb cracker.
So the moon's a crack rock, you dumb whore.
Petrified wood, isn't it?
That we're dealing with, right? So you pick up a crack rock off the ground, and you think that's what I'm saying the sun or moon is? Is it crack rock?
I think you're smoking crack rock because you're arguing right alongside the Globers.
Get him, Demok. Get him.
For one, I'm arguing what reality is, bitch. I don't give a fuck what you are. And I just told you I put my life on what the fuck my words say, cunt. You're talking about picking up rocks and comparing them to this moon, you retard bitch. I'm talking about
Anyway, so all of these pictures on here, when I search for eclipse Earthshine, I don't know if these are pictures or if they're fucking CGI or composites. I think there's a mixture of all of them, but every single one shows details of the surface of the moon that is you're looking at.
Maybe you can find a video, if we can find one. I will look for one.
Yeah, see if you can find one. I mean, every single one of these shows that you can see the dark side of the moon during these lunar eclipses. So I don't think
during the lunar eclipse before.
Yeah, that was the point
no.
of showing them, Brendan.
Huh?
No, they're talking about the solar eclipse.
That's why Crow was presenting them to say, yes, you can see details in the shadow.
Yeah, I know.
Because of Earth's
Earth
albedo, Earth shines back on it.
I know, I'm agreeing with you.
Yes.
Yeah, but
that's it. Exactly.
Charge from the sun. It has a little bit of its own light, but it's not bright enough. When the sun gets close enough to the moon, it's fucking totally outshined. What else?
Okay.
How the fuck is it not?
Who knows? Who knows if we're all talking about the same thing? Because Brendan said lunar eclipse. I don't know if you misspoke, Brendan. Did you mean lunar or solar eclipse?
Which one's which? When the moon goes in front of the sun, what's that?
This is a solar.
That's a solar. Okay,
eclipse.
sorry, it's one of those things I always mix up. Okay, solar eclipse.
Well, you can remember by saying whatever's being eclipsed is what eclipse it is. So if it's the moon being eclipsed, it's lunar eclipse. So whatever's being eclipsed, that's what you call it.
Okay.
Right.
That's fine. Yeah.
Right. The thing that's being eclipsed is being blocked or shined on by another light. Yep. So in the lunar eclipse case, it's a light. It's two light sources, and it's kind of the same way for a solar eclipse because it's actual the moon. It's the moon's actual coloring. The moon's body gets in front of the sun. That's why you see black, because the sun's so fucking bright, it makes the moon look black in front of it. It's common fucking sense. You can do this in your fucking front room with lights and stuff, man. You can do it. I don't understand. Complicated.
Can you show me? Can you show me a high intensity light being shone at something until it's dark?
Well, you don't appreciate the mystery of an eclipse, man.
Look in the back chat. 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 Look in the back chat.
Look at an eclipse with your eyes, which instead of looking through like shoe boxes and shit, look at it with your eyes, and it looks like a black hole. It's crazy looking.
I already did. That's what I did the whole time. That's why I know they got close to each other. There was even an electrical discharge between the two. In between them. The fuck?
Oh, you watched it without the glasses on,
To me, it looks like a void going in front of the.
Here's a better one.
But that's a solar eclipse.
Demo, can you show what we see with a partial lunar eclipse, where it's that curved line that goes around, whatever the cause may be? Can you show a partial lunar eclipse doing the same thing with the light intensity?
I guess not.
If he heard you, he'd say anything that backs his man.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if my connection is shit or not because it did go silent. But
I mean, you know, with the lunar eclipse, you don't see
looks
the
completely
Earth.
different.
It's a
It
little
goes
different
red.
because you don't see the Earth go in front of the moon, right? All you do is see it change color and shadow.
What you see? Well, the colors are meh, and there's explanations for that, but I wouldn't bring those up for anything. But what you do see is, opposed to the phases of the moon, what we see is instead of a crisp line, what we see is a curved line. It'll be different than just the regular phases of the moon.
It also always happens at perihelion.
I'm just talking about the observation itself. All you're witnessing is
couldn't it just be
the
a
moon either
nodal
getting
point
dark
where the
or
moon's
turning a
quite far
different
away?
color for a period of time, right?
Sure. So the observation would be perhaps you get a different color, most likely red or red hue or something. And then you also see a curved line that separates darkness from light. And then that's your only observation. But you also have information on the location of the sun, in which you know it's on the other side of the Earth. And then you can extrapolate and due to calculations, you know exactly where things are in the sky. So it's
You know the relative position of the moon and the sun. You are, from my point of view, assuming that the Earth is in between because you don't observe that. You just have these relative positions, and then in your model you represent that as them all lined up as balls like that. But yeah, I get where you're coming
If
from.
anybody's ever seen a ball eclipse another ball, it doesn't.
Here's how
It
it
ain't.
happens. If the sun is shining from a distance, say the sun's out west or whatever the fuck, east to west, right? And the moon's making its way that way. The moon does a weird thing. It like slows the fuck down, then speeds up. It slows down, then it speeds the fuck up. And yes, the moon comes out all the time in the daytime. I see the moon for 18 fucking hours at a time sometimes, right above my fucking house. All the time. Daytime, nighttime, don't matter. So what happens is
I've seen the moon vanish. I've seen the moon fade out.
The sun gets farther away. When it gets so far away, the light is barely coming. You're not at the same elevation as them. That's why you don't see the fucking light making its path. You only see where the light hits. Therefore, giving you the idea that the bright light hitting the back and outshining past the object you're looking at darkens it. Now you get the same effect as two lights. You got a dim light and a bright light. That's it. It's pretty fucking simple.
Yeah.
Debunk, since you're back, I'm going to ask you that question again. Can you show a partial lunar eclipse using the methods that you were describing?
Yes, you can show any part. What do you mean?
Right. I'm asking you. Can you show that?
Yeah, because listen, because when the flashlight shines upon, so I draw a circle on my wall, right? The circle just represents the circle of the moon to show you there's a circle there, right? If I shine the light the right way, you understand what I'm saying? I can start shining the light. That's a partial. I can shine the light the whole way. That's a full.
What I'm saying is the curved part goes around the dark. The curved part goes around the darkness. I understand if you shine, let's say it's a focused shot, flashlight. That's
hold on. Let's get
with no blur on the edges.
Hold on. We're talking about spheres, so nothing's curving on nothing. We're talking about two curved
The light coming out does. The light from the flashlight does.
No. We're talking about two curved fucking objects, man. The light doesn't curve.
I'm not talking about the light source. No. Oh, no. I'm not talking about the light. The photons. I'm talking about the entire area.
The fucking medium or the thing controls the fucking situation of the light or the design or the fucking the reference frame you keep thinking is a shape, not the fucking light itself. So if I shine the light on a circle object, it's going to look like circle light hitting it or a circle shadow. That's not the shadow of the circle. It's the fucking object. So if you have it's going to be flat. If you have a sphere one, it's going to act accordingly. That's not
right. So what I'm saying is, I understand that if you use a light source such as a flashlight, it's going to come out as a when it.
You're breaking up. I can't hear you.
Sorry. I just got someone tried to call me. Anyway, so I understand that if you're using a flashlight and you shine it against a wall, there's going to be a circular area where that light is hitting. And I understand that if you drew that circle on the wall and that represents the moon, that if you shine that, it's going to have a curve to the edge of that light. What I'm asking for is, can you demonstrate a curve to the dark part? Because that's what we observe.
Listen, the light is the dark part. Are you retarded? How do you get a dark part without
the
light?
Is that a numpty clip? The light is the dark part? Is that a numpty clip? Oh!
Are you retarded, bro? The fucking light is the dark part. I'm not going to keep repeating this, you dumb son of a bitch.
Call the penumbra.
The fucking light, two light sources, retard. You got a bright moon that's white.
Fuck that. That's a numpty clip.
The brighter light. Yeah,
So if I
the brighter light cancels the darker light out. The bright light cancels the darker light out. That's how it works.
That's exactly right. That's what I'm trying to tell this dumbass motherfucker.
So the bright light cancels
the flashlight
other
would
light
be the
out,
sun,
but
and
you have
the
dark.
moon would be a little white dot in front of it, not that white. It'd be like a dull yellowish, a dull fucking paper.
It's just exposure.
Like a paper
It's just
plate.
exposure.
Two light sources make a dark. Is that what we're saying?
14 lights make 14 shadows, retard. Do you get it, motherfucker? Are you that dumb? Now can you comprehend? How'd you get 14 shadows from 14 lights? So shadows are lights, numpty fuck.
It's just exposure, bio. That's all it is.
Dark. Okay, got it.
This is why they think they're on a ball. This is why you think you're on a ball, numpty, because you believe dumb shit without listening to reality. Reality is too hard. But
you're lucky you're not a globe earther. You'd be
so easy to be imaginative, but so fucking hard to explain reality to you guys. What the fuck?
Yep. Two light sources make it dark. You're right.
Yep.
I didn't. No.
I just proved your whole fucking globe model doesn't need a globe to light.
Okay, if the sun shed lights on the moon, can we use the moon phase to determine where the sun is? No one knows on both sides?
Didn't even hear that. What happened? Sorry, Brandon, for being a butthole, man. I'm sorry.
Sorry. You did. Two lights make it dark, and globe is destroyed. You're doing great.
I would say on an AE map you could, because that's what it lines up with. The
The Can I part of the ask moon some that's lit up questions? lines up with a flat plane.
Exactly, exactly. It does because they're the same height, they're the same size, and you know what I mean. I don't know what the height is. I'm not gonna say I know the height. Of course, I have to be truthful. I don't know the height of the sun and moon, but I know they're the same height as each other because they have to be for this to work, and they have to be the same size. They're not fucking different sizes, clearly. And see, the problem we have is the atmosphere gets in our way when we try to figure stuff out. It magnifies shit. It brightens shit. It reflects. Our atmosphere reflects onto the moon also. The fuck? The ocean. The ocean's a big mirror. So if we got two light sources above the ocean, guys, guess what's going to happen when light hits it? It's going to fucking shine everywhere. That's why I tell the Globers we should have no darkness on this ball ever. If it's a ball, there should not be any darkness.
What's the second light source? So we have the sun. What's the second one?
The moon.
The moon is being charged up by the sun, therefore turning into a white fluorescent like a glowing
dog ball. Yeah, like a.
Why are you laughing? Like a glow-in-the-dark ball.
Put it next like a glow-in-the-dark dog ball, right? Yeah, got it.
Yes. Yeah.
You
came back to make an ass out of yourself.
I mean, why can't the moon just be a plasma? As easy as that. We can also make
a real object.
Can I ask
Shut up,
some
Shipper.
questions
You came back to make
the,
an ass out of yourself.
You
Be
can bounce
quiet.
radio waves off
scaling?
it yourself, but no, then you can.
Is that okay?
This too, but
Somebody was in here saying that they had already scaled this. Or is that person still here?
The solar and lunar eclipses. Yes, I posted it. I don't know the timestamp, and I'm driving. But I don't think it's that
well, no,
far.
that's fine. I just wanted to ask a little bit about the process. Which item did you choose first to start with to scale from? Did you choose the Earth, the Moon, or the Sun?
Oh, I have no fucking idea. All the details are in the video.
Anybody could give their philosophy on what the sun and the moon, how they
hold on.
work. That's all they are.
Maybe somebody misunderstood. Are you the one who did it, or did somebody else do it?
You do what I'm telling you every day, all day, son.
No, so I did not personally do it, but what he does in the video,
never mind.
What he does in the video is, oh, that's fine. Yeah.
I thought you did it, so I just wanted to ask about, because it seems like when I'm imagining it in my head, and it seems like it would be quite difficult to get something that was a scale size of the sun, and then also to where you can manipulate it, whatever that size is, and then also have something 400 times smaller than that that's also reasonably manipulated. Exactly. But it would be extremely tiny. That
was me who said they scaled it. That was me, dude. Yeah, you're right. It is almost impossible, but I used a laser. Listen, I put the laser about a sixth of a mile away, and the collimation, how it spreads out. I used the disc. That's what I had to do. I had to use a laser so I could be like a sixth of a mile away. And by the time it reached
we're talking about the light
what I had for the moon,
has to be that big, doesn't it?
No,
not just
well, listen. The laser light spread out over that sixth of a mile.
I understand that.
But yeah, I couldn't do it exactly. But that's the best.
Out.
I think that's the best anybody could do as far as scale is a laser over a long distance.
Okay. I guess then maybe no one has done the other one. It seems like using a laser doesn't, I understand what you're saying, that it spreads out as it goes, but that still makes it different than the light source itself being.
You're right.
As large as they claim.
To be honest with you, bro, I used two lasers to come in from the same angles to try and show a penumbra.
Okay.
I came in at 89 degrees. I used two lasers from a big long distance. You should look at the video on my channel.
Because I mean, even if we had I can look at the I have a wall here, and even if I made the whole wall a light source, getting something that's 400 times smaller than that.
I'll tell you how to scale it. I'll tell you what the scale is. It is a bowling ball for the sun. It's a 2 millimeter pebble for the Earth, 77 feet away. And then obviously the moon would be like a speck of dust.
Well, the laser covers the whole
what
wall.
the heck?
Be like a half a millimeter.
That's going to stop the wall of light?
Yeah, it seems a little odd, doesn't it? Yeah.
That's why I told them I'd give them a 10-foot beach ball and a 3-foot beach ball, and they can have the real sun.
I reposted the model.
That would be interesting to see. Do you think that's possible? I mean, that's essentially what's happening, right? Biodual, the sun.
I'll check out that link and I'll see if he explains which one he scaled off of.
Now, this is
He
not
goes into
scaled. I'm
great
watching it
detail
right
with
here.
it,
This isn't scaled.
They also did a scale in the model, Brandon, in the desert one time for the universe. They have like all the planets, like supposedly big ass balls. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
they had
that
to drive-
was
they had to
National
drive,
Geographic,
like-
yeah.
Yeah, and they had to drive so far away in their car for each like one and stuff like that, like to scale it. It's crazy. They had to use a lot of space.
With a lot of assumptions, and
It's
I mean, they had
8
its actual
miles.
sun.
It's
But
8 miles of level desert.
But listen
And
to
they
this.
used
That's
the
what they did
actual
it
sun
over.
for it.
Hold on. My main point is if you can model all this shit out, why haven't they done it and shown us live if they got all this shit modeled sitting there already? Fucking idiot. They're idiots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think he scaled the size of the sun. I think all he wanted was a light source, and then he's scaling the size of Earth and Moon.
But don't
Would you,
you?
Yeah, but
would
then,
you
then
agree
it's
that
not to
that's,
scale then.
would you agree that that's an important thing for this discussion, that they would need to properly scale the size of the sun? Because I think it would be important.
I'm not sure what that would change. I'm genuinely trying to think about it. I don't know what that would change. If you had a light source that was, let's say, 10 feet away versus 100 feet away, if the light source can reach both of those objects, I'm not sure what would change within the
If the
observation.
discussion is
reason if
whether
the
or not
sun-
the
if
light
the
can
sun-
be fully blocked out by the object,
if the
then
sun
that would be
wasn't-
determined by how large the light source is to begin with.
You know,
That would
you know
determine-
what?
I mean,
light bulb in your house and a black
Guys want
disc.
to,
You know
I
how
just
far
want to know the
away-
answer
I just
why.
posted a video in general
You want to know the,
of the
you know-
a test for penumbra, a laser
You-
test eclipse. It's about the best scale I've seen on any demonstration. But
You
I
want
just
to know-
posted it in general. You should play it.
You want to know the answer why they couldn't scale the sun? Because the light wouldn't be able to reach it, because
They
the
need to
inverse
use the
square
sun.
law determines that the sun's light wouldn't even get even on their model to us.
They have to use the sun. You know, hold on. You know how far away the sun is, guys? Exactly how far away it is. I don't fucking know. So when you use the
I
sun,
agree with that.
it's going to mimic its own distance from us. So whatever it is, it is. Then you make your own little ball. You just get the Earth and the Moon, and you produce your fucking model. It's that simple. That's the
That's
only
what I
way.
did, and I showed that the penumbra is a myth. The penumbra that they detailed is not as
okay, but
described.
now what you're saying though is that they should scale the moon and the Earth without scaling the sun. That won't be helpful for determining whether or not it works.
We know it matches what we see in reality.
Matches the light source 93 million miles away, as great as it is, compared to the two fucking rocks that are where we are.
But then we would just have to say that the moon and the Earth itself are part of the scale. Then you're not scaling anything; you're just looking at reality, which I'm fine with. But that doesn't help them. Like that's not going to convince anybody. Just saying, look outside. We can all do that. We understand that, right?
I don't know how else they would do. I don't know how else they would ever mellow the sun down to the power of the sun or the way the sun works.
Okay, I found the video. Let's just see here if they scale.
Dude, the lunar eclipse looks cool and shit. It looks like a portal, and it looks
We
like
also have an
something-
atmosphere we're looking through too. You know what I mean?
It looks like something closing a door. Like it looks like a portal to another fucking realm. Light coming through it, a hole, and then the door.
Oh yeah,
for
it's
the
like
portal
we're down in the
closes.
hole. They open the door up to feed us. Yeah.
400 times bigger, so
Like, hey, down in that well, you guys hungry for chicken? Yeah, it looks like they're sliding the circle lid over off the top of something. I know what you mean.
if the sun is supposedly 400 times larger than the moon, right?
No, way more than that. Way more than that. It's supposed to be like you can almost fit like 1 million Earths.
Yeah, it's like 1 million, but yeah, I think diameter they claim 400 with diameter, but like volume,
maybe.
yeah, millions.
Maybe the surface, yeah.
I think you're right. I think the model says 400 times farther, 400 times
So that
bigger or something.
and the Earth is about 10 times larger than the moon, right? According to their model.
No, 4 times. Four times bigger.
Yeah, it's either 3 or 4 times. One of those.
Oh, okay. So that would make it the sun would have to be about 100 times larger than the Earth then.
Yes, the surface of the sun.
I
100 Earth
think
surface.
so.
We see.
So
yeah, 400, yeah.
If I'm thinking about that right. So let's see here. He says sun model 97.5. Earth model 40. So he has the sun a little over 2.5, or right around 2.5. This in size, it's about 2.5 the size of the Earth in his demonstration here. That's not. I mean, that's not even close.
I'm trying to think if that light source is truly 400 times bigger, what? I mean, I guess the distance would have to be changed as well.
Right. You have to change the distance, but like if what we're trying to determine is if an object can block out all of the light from the source, then what size the source is would definitely matter, because that would also determine what size object you need to block all of it.
Well, what if we just use a light source that at a particular distance is almost the same size of what we call the moon? Wouldn't that work for demonstrational purposes? Because what we observe, regardless of distance, whether it's close or far, millions of miles or thousands of miles, what we observe is that the angular sides of the moon and the angular sides of the sun are about the same. So in a demonstration like this, wouldn't it be fine to keep them angularly the same size, but scale the moon and Earth together?
No, I think the point what he's getting at is if you imagine a sun ray from the top and the bottom, they could miss Earth and directly hit the moon.
That's why I spread in my
Behind
demonstration.
it.
I used lasers. I spread the lasers out like about 8 feet from each other, and my moon was about 6 inches in diameter. So I had the two lasers spread out, and I was angling it, not from top to bottom, but from side to side to try and demonstrate a penumbra. And it mocked the eclipse almost perfectly. It looked like a crazy wormhole crossing the Earth, which I had drawn on the side of a house. And but the moon was a ball, and it demonstrated the eclipse almost perfect. It was eerie, but it didn't. There was no penumbra.
Well, my favorite part of it is when those shadows go. They're like opposite. They're inverse from each other. You know they're double inverse shadows. Like the black is white, the white is black. That's how you know that the fucking two light sources are there. Because the more light you have, or the more sources of light or reflection, the more shadows you're going to have off the object. And that's why you get in the atmosphere too. It's like it does have the effect of a magnifying glass, and that's why you have that those shadows that look really weird. I forget which one it's during, but you get the really weird shadows like on your garage or outside against the wall of your house.
I agree. It's like a focal point.
Yes. Yep. It does the opposite because the brighter light is outshining the smaller source. So you get the smaller source making the fucking shadow, the first shadow. And then now it can become a bright and black. It can switch itself all the way around. Just because of the strength of the light sources.
See, this channel does bring unity. Now, where's my Poisson spot?
What was that? Gleam, I want to show you something.
I said this channel does bring unity because Brian and Demok are now agreeing. Either way,
Yeah.
But where's my Poisson spot? If anyone doesn't know what one of them is, look it up.
I need to
please.
know.
I don't know
what it is.
It's basically when you got a light source and a spherical surface. It has to be a nice spherical surface. The object in which it's casting the shadow on has a very bright light right in the center of it.
Yes.
For some
Extra highlight.
strange reason.
Yeah, it looks like a little pinprick
Okay, I
of
take
light.
that back, y'all. My ball that I used for the moon
But it's
was one of
never
them
present.
was one of them little playpen balls. It was like about a 2-inch diameter.
If it's smooth and shiny, then yes. But I've seen like stones in the sun and they don't have spots. Gleam, I want to show you something because maybe you can explain it better than me.
What if I don't want to
History.
look at my TV? I'm only joking. Go on.
If you can check my stream, or I don't know what you call it, just click my name.
Yeah, I'm on it. Yeah, I see it with the compression lines. Yep.
It's no, I don't know what you're seeing. As it is like a blue ball and like the moon. Do you see it?
Yep, see it.
Great. Okay. So source on the left side, we can see as the moon looks like this crescent, and this value it has a value. So this could be like 25% illumination. Quarter moon, no, not quarter, just 0.25. Now, if I put here 0.25, just simple in 60. If I put is half, the angle is 90.
You are
So
glitching out for me.
Okay, how about now?
That's okay. It's okay.
Hello?
But I think,
yeah,
yeah, I think Excel's, yeah, too much.
So during half moon, the angle that you have to pan your camera from the moon towards the sun would be 90 degrees. And with that, with whatever moon value, you can get that angle. If you pan your camera, you'll see the sun. But that's only in one case, if the sun is too far away, because I cannot solve the triangle if the sun is close.
Hey, Crow. Hey, earlier in the stream, I posted a refraction model, a flat Earth refraction model in general, and look at that and see if you could. So it's if you look at that and look at the numbers and tell me, could that be the reason? You know, for the shadows and for shit disappearing way off in the distance, like mountains appearing lower. It's a parabol. I've graphed out the numbers, and it wound up a perfect parabola. So that's basically what we see when we look at the moon and sun calc. We see it spinning a circle, like, and then it projects the nighttime hours of what the sun's doing, and it looks like a kind of like a parabola. So if the light is refracting a certain way, then that would explain why we see things the way we do on a flat Earth.
Well, if
Gone all quiet for me, but I'll just say Moon Terminator illusion. There we go. That cuts it all short.
Yeah, you could literally shine a flashlight across like the moon's surface and make a black shine across the surface of it.
And that. Can you say it slowly?
We didn't hear any of it. You cut out completely.
No, I didn't understand what he said.
Crow, wouldn't you agree that it could be the light bending and not a ball we're living on? Wouldn't it be the same effect?
Well, I know that light bends, and that's why I don't take some pictures in as a proof.
Could it be though that during the evening time and the morning time that that's when we're getting the refraction? I mean, that's when we're getting less refraction, and the fact that during the heat of the day, the sun is agitating everything and heating everything up, making more of a gradient and giving us more refraction. Ain't that possible at least?
Well, man, if you said refraction brings unicorn, I would say maybe. I'm really not good at that.
Not necessarily a unicorn though, man, because it's consistently coming from different areas. Earlier,
I would have an argument. I would have an argument against you.
Why do we always see mirages of water in the desert?
Yeah, it's pretty consistent too. It's not a unicorn. It's very consistent. Everywhere we see a hump, it winds up looking like a puddle of water, and it's very consistent. And it's during the heat of the day too. So it doesn't have to be a rare unicorn if it's something we see all the freaking time. I used an example of light coming in from like the clouds like 25 miles away, and then the top of the trees 10 miles away, and then a bush just 100 yards away, and they're all coming the same path. They're all crossing the same path. So it could be consistent fairly.
The light's not bending. The only time I saw a light bend is like the rainbow or like a moon bow or something like that, or a rainbow, right? For a bending out.
Exactly. Perspective.
Hold on. For the outside edge of the light, like the edge of it, right? But I never saw light when you shine it bending the other way than widen from the source. I've never saw it make a snake pattern or fucking go crazy. But what it can do is the
Right, it's
medium.
always pretty consistent one way or another.
Yeah, the medium can control, like resistance controls anything. If you drop rain, it's not a sphere, it's a fucking teardrop because the resistance of the medium it's going through. The medium, now if you shine light through ice, snow, water, air, gas, it's gonna act accordingly depending on the medium, how the medium lets it go through it. It's the same way you can have like a fish tank and shine a big green light on the fish tank, fluorescent green light. You poke a hole in the side of the fish tank, a little water squirts out. It looks like it's green light squirting out as a curve. It's not. It's an optical illusion because the water is just carrying the light as a reflection. The water is bent reflecting light. You see, you only see what the light hits. You don't see the outshining light that goes past everything. You don't see the side of light. You see where it hits, the surface portion. So the light's not actually bending. It's an optical illusion. The medium's bending of the water pouring out to the ground, and the light's just shining off of it and lighting it up. It's fucking an illusion. The same way when they show you the laser in the saltwater test. They drop the salt water from right to left, then they hurry up and shine the laser, and wouldn't you know it, from right to left, the laser bends down. It's just shining through the salt that's going down first.
No, they mix it. They don't put it one side or not. They mixed it. Brandon did it. Ranty did it. They mixed it for hours.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's sugar, not salt, right?
Well,
Yeah, he did it with sugar.
Well, this guy did it with salt. He had like an eyedropper and he dropped it real quick and he hurried up and shined the light.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to call it a night. It's 8:07. I got dinner getting cold here, so I'm going to let you guys go. We will see you on Monday, and have a good weekend, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thank you to Silent Zero, Aaron Armstrong, and James Mays for supporting the show. Thanks to the mods, and thanks to everybody in chat. And we will see you on Monday. Have a good weekend, everybody. In the U.S., enjoy the 4th of July, which is Monday, and we'll see you then.